Welcome everybody to our latest session of the Restoration of Cariele. This is session number 10. We were off last week, so as usual we'll do a quick recap and we will pick up from there. Being that we were off last week, the recap might be a little bit more sparse as this is coming right from memory, but that just means more opportunities for the players to remember something that I didn't for inspiration. So recap, folks, you picked up last session, you were in the area. I'm not even sure if you know what to call this place yet, but you had been in the basement under the yellow goblet, crawled under this little opening that was quite small. It was described as being about 40 feet long, but due to the very tight quarters and having to get on your hands and knees and sort of belly crawl through this opening, it took you about 5 minutes each to pass through that area and to here. Found yourself in this sort of rocky underground kind of a feel. However, you notice that there was also these constructed buildings and floors, very bad state of repair. Looks like some kind of very old complex or building that has not really been maintained for quite some time. As you guys were in this little area, you saw just to your east there was an elevated area that looked like a second level perhaps, and you kind of started making your way to the northeast, just kind of scoping things out, noticing the broken wall, broken bricks, seeing that one of the what looks to be like a small room, the west wall was completely broken down. You could actually see into the room, see a sarcophagus with a door. We had Cerilia then go to the north, climb the little set of stairs where there were two other sarcophagi up there. And with that gained elevation from climbing up the stairs, she then looked to the south where there was that second level, and she saw a very strange sight, which was a pile of hands. This seemed really out of the normal, of course, very unusual. So she said to Blixel, hey, how about I give you a little boost up and you can just peek up there and see what that is? And Blixel agreed. So with Cerilia against the wall, cupping her hands, Blixel took a foot up, moved up to be able to look into this area and see these hands, and the hands then suddenly started to move towards him. We found ourselves in combat as several of these piles of hands were making their way towards the party. These hands would hop down from this second level and strike out by grabbing, slashing, piercing with their nails, doing anything they could to hurt our player characters. And the player characters noticed that when they hit these creatures themselves, they had a habit of splitting. So it would get to like two smaller pile of hands instead of a single pile of hands. And this kept creating more of these creatures once per pile of hands, you might say. Eventually the team was able to defeat all these piles of hands and suffered some wounds, but nothing too traumatic. However, just maybe the overall atmosphere of this area was also a bit draining on our player characters, aka one of the player characters drew a card that suffered one level of weariness for all of our characters. So yeah, that was also a factor. Team then made their way through an open door. We're kind of trying to plan about how to get to that second level, what made the most sense. One of our player characters, which I believe was Vin, made his way up to the second level through climbing. And then the other player characters were able to realize that if they just went through the door, there was a set of stairs that brought them up to the same place. So once the team did that, found another pair of sarcophaguses and ultimately the top level here. And there was sarcophagus kind of scattered around. They spent some time trying to open some of them. In one, they found a small piece of like artwork. Some of the others, they found absolutely nothing besides bone and cobwebs. Team then made their way to the north, found a couple of locked doors. On one of them, after they tested the handle, they heard a voice from the other side of the door that asked a question to them, essentially saying, are you here to honor Our Lady? And there was some discussion amongst the team as far as what might that actually mean. And I forget the exact answer that was given, but nonetheless, it didn't seem to be the one perhaps that the voice was looking for, as there was no real other communication from beyond the door. I believe another player character then tried the same, heard the same kind of tone from beyond the door, but eventually the group decided, without knowing what exactly this voice was, to kind of just skip it, go to the north, as the whole point of being down here is looking for Var, who is the associate of Ryance, who is the sort of guild leader in Arendelle. So the team made their way to the north and found that the hallway continued further to the north, but there was a door on either side, west and east. During this time, Blixel used his senses to kind of detect any evil, undead, those type of beings in this area, and he was able to detect undead creatures through both doors. The team then made their way to, I believe it was the west door, and opened that, knowing that they were getting ready to face some undead. And sure enough, there was a couple of skeletal soldiers on the other side of this door. And as they attacked the skeletal soldiers, the east door opened, and a very strange-looking skeleton that wielded 2 blades and had this sort of like half skirt it was wearing engaged the party in combat as well. The skeletal soldiers were kind of working in tandem, but weren't too dangerous for our player characters. However, the other skeleton, the unusual one, the party was able to notice that when they struck it with regular weapons, based on the design of its bones, it actually damaged their weapons, making them less effective. So it became a very difficult decision as far as to use weapons, knowing they were getting damaged, or not to. But over a bit of time here, the team was able to take down both the skeletal soldiers and this unique skeleton after suffering some wounds and also some damage to their weapons. With that complete, the team made their way further north into this long hallway that ran to the east and west, as well as this elevated area to the north. As they started making their way to the east, there was several sets of bones that were lying flat on an elevated surface to their east that they really couldn't see. But once they got to a specific point in the hallway, all of these bones essentially stood up, forming into skeletons, and they had bows in hand, and they started firing down at our player characters. Shortly thereafter, the team also noticed that arrows were coming from the west, from the darkness that they couldn't really see, and that was making it more likely that these arrows would hit the player characters. This battle kind of raged on for quite a while on two fronts. Probably the standout moment here was Blixel tried to make his way forward and engage the enemies using a combination of magic and some fighting skills here. But unfortunately, he suffered a couple of quick strikes that dropped him to the ground. Then he was able to be brought back by Celine's healing word, and then he was struck again, brought to the ground again. And this was looking pretty dire, but eventually the team was able to defeat the remaining skeletons, though they are now currently in a pretty bad state, having suffered some significant wounds. And yeah, that is where we left off. So team, that's my quick recap. If there's anything I missed that you'd like to add, feel free to do so.
Yeah, I'd like to add. The unique skeleton that was hurting our weapons, wasn't there like a pendant around the neck, or we found something from it that was noteworthy?
Yes, did you happen to note what that thing was?
I think Serena has it on her character sheet. It was a necklace or a pendant, if I remember.
Close enough. Ivory medallion set with a single aquamarine. Yep, you can take inspiration for that, Baron. Anybody else have anything to add? All right, hearing nothing else, let's go ahead and get started, folks. I'm going to pull you back over to the map. All right, so you guys have just wrapped up this battle. You are currently standing where you see on the map, and yes, as you can see, some of you are quite wounded. Yes, of course. Cards coming out.
Dylan's just checking in there too. He's on his way.
Appreciate that update.
Would it be better to wait for him to log on then,
I mean, I'm assuming you guys aren't planning to just rush forward right now, so I think we're okay if he hops on shortly.
I just meant for the cards. I don't know how awkward that would be.
Oh, no, I sent him a card, so once he logs on, he'll automatically get it.
So, are you still in ghost form, or did you come back to Serena form? I think she's in Serena form, right?
Her ghost form lasted for 1 minute, so I think she's got a little bit of time left.
But after the battle, I returned to my normal self.
No, you can't get away with that. Serena, you can't.
No bonus action for you.
You were a ghost like 2 seconds ago. What's wrong with you? Are you all right?
I don't know.
What? You don't know?
No, I don't know what's happening to me.
Are you
Heather, this
corrupted?
is not the place to have this conversation. We are literally surrounded by skeletons. Are you going to hurt us?
There he is. No, I feel the same as I have ever since I found my way back home.
Then let's stop with this conversation right now and get the hell out of here.
Hey, brother, you're not striking the proper tone. You just showed up. I poke her in the arm. Boop. Oh, she's real enough.
I believe if you do that again, she'll probably poke you back.
No, she won't. I smile at Serena.
I'm poking myself because I don't know what's going on. I've noticed ever since the cave, I haven't felt very hungry or or sleepy. It's weird.
Was there something in the water? That's weird.
It's pretty strange.
Does
I
that
don't
mean
know.
you got some rations to share?
So you're not gonna eat that? That is what you're saying.
You're not getting
you
gold too?
Eat that? Just kidding. I'm pretty hurt, and I gotta get out of here, guys.
We
Yeah.
should probably fall back, yes.
All right, and as you're having this conversation and your voices go silent for a moment as you're looking around at one another and deciding which way to fall back to, all of you except for Vin hear the sound of footsteps coming from the west.
Someone's coming.
Spread out.
I'm gonna get behind you.
Adam, I'm gonna kind of, obvious. My freaking chest is lit up like Iron Man here, so it'll be really hard for me to be super sneaky. But I'm gonna do my best to kind of push myself as close to this wall, and obviously just be like an overall light for the room, and see if I can maybe catch somebody off guard coming down this hall.
Okay, you hear the sound as you guys are waiting there of a door close, and then another door close, and you're still listening, and the footsteps continue.
Getting closer, or
They're kind of echoing from the west. It's hard to tell if they're getting closer or not.
I guess Blix will he'll say hello.
Blexel, what are you doing?
And you hear in the patented shout whisper, shh.
Was it a shush?
Yes.
All right, Blixel zips up. He goes, that might be far.
Blexel, get behind me.
Uh,
Actually, I don't know what I'm gonna do because I'm pretty hurt too.
yeah. Plus, you were
I
just a
think I'm
weird
gonna have to-
ghost, so I'm not really gonna get too close to you. Sorry.
want me to go check it out?
Go on, Tavard. Remember, we're not here to kill him.
I got
Yeah,
your back.
his boss just wants to see him.
Adam, I'm gonna notch an arrow into my short bow.
Okay.
Adam, I'm gonna go ahead and go kind of sneaky style if I can.
All
And I
right,
will
you try to
too.
be quiet. And Baron, you can certainly try, but of course you are holding a torch, so it'd be a bit challenging. As you get to this spot here, Tavern, you notice looking to your south, the door to the west that those skeletal soldiers came through is closed, even though you remember it being left open. And the same with the door to the east.
All right, I'm gonna go north a little bit.
I'm gonna wave Serena a little closer. So she's I'm sorry, Saline a little closer. She picked up on it anyways.
And Adam, are the bones and like the remains of the skeletons we killed still around?
They are, yes.
Blixel will try to sort of scatter them apart so that they're not clumped and able to reform into a skeleton if they're right like all in one big clump, you know?
Okay, sure. Now, are you trying to do this quietly, or are you okay making noise? Because obviously, if you do this making noise, you do it much faster. If you do it, really quietly, then it's going to take a lot longer.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it on the quieter side for sure. I'm
Okay.
not like gonna move at a snail's pace, but I'm trying not to make a lot of noise.
Gotcha. All right.
You never know with these things, guys. They can sometimes, if they've been killed once, they can come back.
Those doors are closed. Do you want to go check them out?
Hey, Tavard, there's a bit more to this direction to our left as you're looking at the monitor.
Monitor, of course, being a nickname of maps and stuff in this world.
Yeah. I see where you're pointing. Hey, Adam, the area in front of me is discolored. Is that anything that I would be aware of, or is that just trick of the lights or something?
It looks to be a trick of the lights. You see nothing of significance here. You can see the torch light from Baron behind you does, of course, go in that direction. But yeah, it almost looks like this area maybe is just faded from time or some other reason that the ground is faded here.
All right, I'm going to grab my quarterstaff and kind of push down on it a little bit.
It feels fully solid.
All right, I'm going to do the blind man routine. Keep on doing that as I cross over.
Okay.
Alrighty.
All right, Tavern, as you get to there... All right, you're currently in dim light from the torch behind you, and as you're standing there, you hear the sound of incanting coming from the north. I'm going to go ahead and put us into initiative order. Whoop, looks like the sandbox may have crashed. One moment. During this time, obviously, the rest of the player characters, you guys are off there to the east. You're really not sure what is happening here at this point, so I'm going to count this as a surprise for you all.
Okay, I'm busy with bones.
It's funny, I was just about to turn back. Darn squares.
So he's that one extra step, right?
Hey, it's all good.
All right, that is refreshed. Okay, so we've got you guys in there. Okay, so going in order, I'm going to go ahead and put on some other music.
While he's doing that, sorry guys, I was late. My new job, I had gotten off a little later than normal because I was finishing my training. Then I got stuck behind a damn funeral procession.
On Easter, that's sad.
Dude, it's pissed me off, man. I was trying to be nice about it, but I cursed whoever it was to live in hell.
Yeah, I think they're having a worse day than you are right now, but okay.
Yeah, I was going to say, how dare they be so selfish to die on Easter?
Yeah,
How dare they die like 4 or 5 days ago,
Well,
whatever. I
I mean,
don't
like,
know.
geez, but no one said they had to go 20 miles per fucking hour. Like, come on, move it along, folks.
Maybe they're
All
waiting
right.
to see if you can
The
set up a
living's
coffin.
got someplace to go.
All right, with that
So
in
hard not to
mind.
be rude.
Adam,
Yeah.
am I able to play my card even though I'm surprised?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and do it now because
Yeah, is it one of the ones that says play at the beginning of combat?
It says at any time.
Oh, yeah, then, yep, you can absolutely do that at any time. So, everybody, you can feel free to reduce your weariness by 1 point. As a reminder, that is your bubble, which is the red bubble. So, if you click your token, just whatever that number is, hit -1 there, and it should reduce it by 1 level.
Ooh, nice. Took me to 0.
Nice.
Good play,
Undoing
bro.
that red card from earlier.
Indeed. Okay, so Blixel is surprised after that. So, as you hear this incanting coming from your north tavern, you see suddenly as these red glowing like skull kind of faces fly through the air very quickly towards you, and as they do, the first two strike into you, dealing 8 points of force damage, and then you see 2 more do the same, striking into you for 8 points of force damage. Vin is surprised. Tavern, more of these skull kind of shapes fly towards you, dealing 9 points of force damage this time. Baron, you notice Tavern step here in the dark, in the light of your torch, as you notice these red skulls flying from the north, smashing into him, and I believe that does indeed take Tavern to the ground. And Baron, your turn.
Wow. That's loud enough, I think, for my friends to realize that we're in trouble.
I mean, the magic doesn't make any sound, and unless Tavern tried to do some, like, I forget, Wilhelm scream or something, I don't know that they would know.
That was it? That was the Wilhelm.
Well, I'm a dwarf. I tried to go down, with some dignity anyway. It was the first hits though.
It sounds like Tavern slipped on an apple.
Yeah, he stepped on a frog.
I didn't want to hurt you guys' ears by Tavern's actual verbiage.
So loud enough in my mind where my friends are and say, Tavard's down! Get over here! I'm not gonna.
There you go, unlocked.
We're looking for Var. If that's you, your boss wants to see ya. That's all we're doing. And then I am going to bonus action.
So I'm gonna give you a quick visual so you understand what's going on here, Baron.
Okay.
Your torchlight is casting out and lighting Tavern up like a beacon to anybody who might be able to see him. You've gotten closer, putting him now into bright light, so now he's very well visible to anybody who might be looking at him. You've moved 20 feet. What do you do?
Yeah, so that was my next move. I'm going to bonus
Fire
action,
eater, fire eater.
bonus action. If I can do it on a down person, on Tavard.
Yeah, I would say you can do that.
And it won't let me upcast it, so I'm just going to take...
Yep, just reduce your spell level by 1.
Okay, so that's 20, 25, 30, and then action dash. $30, and I'm gonna drop on my way at him. I'm gonna drop my torch right.
All right, let me go ahead and grab that. You said right there?
Yeah, that's perfect.
All right, go ahead and turn your own torch off. I will turn this one on. All right, so as a reminder, torches emit 20 bright and 20 dim. Okay, anything else on your turn, Baron?
No, that's my movement, and I will end my turn. Yeah.
All right, and Tavern, 2 GM death save, please. All right, and then Serena is surprised. Celine is surprised. Move to the last figure in the round.
Wait. Can I play my card?
What does it say it can be played when?
At any time.
Then you sure can.
I'm supposed to drag it onto this.
Yep, there you go.
Oh.
You got it.
Oh, wait. I'm going to grant 1 usage of a bloodline ability to Blixel.
Okay, Blixel, do you have any bloodline abilities that have been expended?
Yeah, my cure wounds.
All right, and is that the one you'd like to restore? Or if that's the only one, then that's the one that's restored.
Yeah, that is the only one that I've spent so far.
Okay, so yeah, let's see. Celine is surprised. Move to the next round. So Tavern here, still in the light. 2 more of these skulls strike out at you.
Wisdom saving throw for him.
Yes. So go ahead and throw me a. This will be a wisdom spell effect roll for you, Bear, or just a spell effect roll for you. So go ahead and throw a spell effect roll. All right. So he is not affected by that. He is able to attack through the sanctuary, and Tavern, you will suffer 6 force damage as you're down. That will count as 1 failed death save. All right, we move to the top of the next round, and it is Blixel, no longer surprised.
Okay. Blixel, he's hurt. He heard that there's trouble, so he's going to go out. So I'm using a touchpad. It made my movement a little crazy there. I'm going to just do it one by one here.
Yep, yeah, that's probably the easiest.
Okay, so I can only get here, unfortunately. So I guess I'm just gonna dash down towards Tavern. And then as a bonus action, I got nothing. So that's all I can do. I'm running that way. If I get to you in time, hopefully I can heal you. And I clicked in my turn and nothing happened.
Looks like the sandbox crashed again. I just went and restarted it. Just one moment. All right, should be good now. Go ahead and click that button again. All right, and let's see. Once again, before Vin's turn, Tavern, another pair of these flashing skulls fly towards you, dealing 7 force damage, beating the spell effect roll.
I'm going to. Oh, I don't have any. I'm gonna use inspiration.
All right, yep. Go ahead and reroll that.
Oh, damn it. Missing the beginning means I missed getting inspiration. Son of a biscuit.
Unfortunately, that's still not enough with a 13. So, yes, that will indeed strike into Tavern. Another failed death save. Vin, your turn.
And
wait,
Adam,
is it a 13 plus his additional thing that he adds to it?
Yes. Oh, good call. Let me just double check the total there. Okay, yes, actually that one will work. So take that 1 death save back, Tavern.
and they're only shooting me once, though, right?
Yes, both of the rays hit you at the same exact time.
Okay, cool. Okay.
All right, and Vin, you're up.
All right. So I'm gonna move here. Okay, this would be my full movement. Damn,
I'll say we have to keep the light off of him. I'm gonna grab my torch and run.
Heard. Alright, so then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut into this way, Adam, and I'm going to move forward and just make sure I'll go to the extent of my movement with, move dash, cunning action dash, and make sure we have clear escape route to get out whenever we can get Tavard back up. And then I'm gonna say, we should leave! We don't have the resources to fight! Let's regather at the front.
All right, before Baron's turn, another set of rays coming down towards Tavard. All right, and yes, once again, unable to strike Tavard. And Baron, your turn.
It's holding up. They're still shooting at him, so I'll go 5, 10, 15, 20, and I can't reach it from here. I have to move 5 more feet to reach my torch.
Oh, you can reach it from there.
Then you can take that off. I will put myself 20, 25, 30. And then I'm going to action dash. 5, 10, 15, 20. I'm going to stay there. And I'll just tell Blixel, I know you can see in the dark. Do the best you can.
All right, Tavard, death save to GM. All right, and then we will move to Serena.
Don't have to tell me twice. I assume we're backing out of this way the way we came.
Gotta get Tavard.
We gotta get to Vard, and then we're leaving.
All right, Saline.
All right. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. I can't see Tavard. Which way did he go, Blixel?
He's down the hallway. Keep going the way we're going.
North or west?
West.
So I'll action dash. 5, 10, 15. I'm close enough. I will spend my last spell slot as an attempt to healing word him. I don't know if it's gonna work, but Saline would try.
Okay.
Because I don't know what death saves he's at. So, yeah. Sorry, character sheet's lagging a bit. There it is. I have to upcast because I only have a 2nd level left.
All right, Tavard, does that heal you?
Yes.
All right, you are restored for 6 HP. Still prone on the ground, but you do have 6 HP.
He has 4 HP because it's still using my int. But yeah, and then I have 15 more feet of movement left, so I will select the movement pointer again and duck around the corner for the rest of the 15.
I'm sorry, how many hit points do I... You said 5 or
4.
6? 4?
It's
Okay, all right.
Roll plus 2 plus 1.
Yeah, that Sanctuary saved my ass. So.
Yeah, good call, bud.
All right, Saline, I've changed that
Worth
to use
it.
your wisdom now.
Okay. I think it changed it automatically when I leveled up as a wizard.
I wouldn't
know I
doubt
did
it,
before.
yeah. All right, before Blixel's turn, another set of rays fired down to Tavard. Tavard, you are not struck. Blixel.
Does it? Are they still shooting the rays? Are we able to
No.
see?
So when that sanctuary works, it means like they go and get ready to attack him from that, but it doesn't work, so it just doesn't go off.
Okay. Blixel will move just to here, and then he will, I guess, call to Tavard. Oh no! You know what? I'm gonna move a little bit further. It's gonna move to here, and he will call to Tavard and say, "Get over here!" And he will.
Tavard laugh.
Yeah, Scorpion. He will. I'm gonna hold Cure Wounds for when Tavard gets within melee of me, that I can cast it on him.
So you're readying it, meaning you're pre-casting the spell?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Using Bloodline.
Okay, so you use a readied action to cast that once Tavard's within range. All right, before Vin's turn, 2 more sets of rays attempt to fire down.
Oh, can I do anything? No. No more hero points, no inspiration.
Anybody got a card? I guess we can't now.
Brian, can I use? I can't use the talisman you gave me on him, right? I mean, he's plus 30 feet anyways.
No, that talisman is in my control, and it's protecting you, and it only helps the saving throws for the wearer.
I'm sure I'll be fine.
And a second spell effect roll, please.
Sorry, I'm trying to...
Okay. All right, so you're waiting there anticipating these rays to fire down these flaming skulls, but you don't see any. Finn, your turn.
I like to think if you're affected by Sanctuary, you're like, I want to get him! Oh, but he looks so helpless down there. Like you're struggling with the decision, dude. I don't know.
I didn't mean to move to my right, Adam. My roll 20 is just lagging, but I'm gonna move back to the corner here and I'm just gonna wait for everybody and be ready to move. So let's say I ready an arrow attack for any enemies coming down the hall towards Blixel or within range.
Okay, fair enough. All right, another set of rays. Okay, and they don't come. Baron, your turn.
Oh, sorry.
Dang, nice.
Sorry. All right. I'm gonna stay here by Celine and just say, get in there, do what you can. I got to keep the light out of the way. I don't want to say
nothing left.
Okay. I don't want to say I want to drop the torch again, because that might maybe I want to drop the torch but step in behind my brother is what I'm intending to do, and then ready in action and EB if an enemy comes within sight.
So you're dropping the torch at where you currently are?
Yeah. I don't want to make you do too much work, but all right, I'm going to ready an EB for someone I can see within range.
Okay, got it. Tavard, your turn.
I get up and I say, it's time to go get some meat. I'm thirsty.
He's back! He's up! I say.
And that'll end all my distance and everything is half speed. So
Okay, you're within 5 feet of Blixel then, so Blixel, your ready to action goes off. Go ahead and post your Cure Wounds.
Okay.
All right, 7
sir.
back to Blixel. Or I'm sorry, not to Blixel, from Blixel to Tavard. All right, Serena's turn.
Let's run for our lives!
All right, Saline.
Alright. Having no spell slots left and only cantrips to ready, I will back up a bit, but I don't want to lose sight of my boys, so I'll go 5, 10, 15, and I will ready a firebolt if I see an enemy.
Okay.
That's it.
All right, we'll move to the top of the next round, and unless anybody does anything crazy, we are out of combat. And based on what everybody's doing, I'm going to assume we are out of combat, folks.
If we're gonna run back in,
Well, I do have half my hit points already.
Yeah,
I don't
come
know.
on, Tavar. you gonna run away from that? God.
Tavar, are you okay?
Go.
Let's go. Let's talk
Dang,
about this later.
I got a
He's fine.
hangover.
He's fine.
I got a hangover without having the mead. That's no fun.
All right, let's go, guys. I'm just gonna run, and pick up my torch in a very heroic fashion, as a level 3 hero would do.
I'm gonna put my foot out and try to trip him. Oh, I didn't do really well.
Hey, I will tell you guys, that was really close. When that one got recalled,
know.
I was like, oh,
Going.
thank baby Jesus on an Easter.
Yep, it's this way.
Where are you going? Where's she going?
I don't know.
I can't remember how to get out of here.
It's not that way.
I point to my right, I guess. Character left, or map left. This way.
Unless she's gonna do like the heroic level 3 jump off the ledge.
Superhero landing.
All right, I'll go first.
Wait.
He's got experience.
I'm gone.
See ya.
I start crawling through the hole.
Var, Rylance wants to see you. We're out of here.
Be on time for work tomorrow.
All right,
Again.
each of you in turn has crawled through the hole and found yourself back in the basement of the Yellow Goblet.
We can't leave him in there.
Yeah,
Who?
I know, but we also can't follow without losing anybody.
Well, let's take a breather.
I may need more than that.
Let's take a breather, at least in the Yellow Goblet. You know,
Yeah.
get some food.
Moving in where other people are around and can help.
Yeah, where there aren't skeletons.
I need a nail.
Well, hang on. I don't like being that far. What if we can hear him or shouts come for help or something, and we're upstairs having a drink?
Do you even know what he looks
That's
like?
that's better than dying down here.
Sorry, Tavard.
Yeah, you closed the door on me.
I thought I was the last one.
I was like, wait a second.
You almost made it out.
I'm not dead yet.
He locks the door on you. Tavar, did you get a look at them at all?
I couldn't even see the bastards.
What is this?
I saw some red eyes or something.
That was the cat, I think.
Oh. Oh, I see. It's an X. I thought it was like a down pointing arrow. I see.
I guess speaking of which, Adam, is the body of that dead cat still visible down here, or the specter thing for that matter?
Yes, they both are.
All right, I'm gonna, grab them both, throw the bigger corpse over my shoulder, and carry the cat so we can show the crazy lady who was mumbling about spirits upstairs that there were in fact some creepy stuff down here.
Wait,
That's
hold
what I
on.
was thinking. That's what I was thinking, Dylan.
Can we maybe bring her down instead? Because if we show up in the middle of public with a bunch of dead stuff,
I feel like that might be alarming to the
panic.
patrons.
a little bit alarming, yeah.
Okay.
You don't have a rat problem here. You got a ghost problem.
So instead of the lovely patrons of this bar not knowing that beneath them is a bunch of fucking death traps, we're just going to ignore that? I mean, it's not our position to hide their secrets.
we can tell her, but
I don't think we need to impact her business.
Yeah, let's tell her privately and bring her down here.
Maybe
She
just
almost
bring
had
the
us
cat to
killed.
the very end of the door or whatever. Don't need to bring
I'm
it
gonna
into the
let her
tavern.
business just sit there and be nice. Don't give a damn if she makes money.
That's nice.
She
I
almost
don't
had
think
us killed. Tavard is still bleeding.
I don't think most of the patrons are wandering around in the depths of a basement.
She also could have told us that there was a freaking tomb down here.
All right, each of you
She
makes
might
your
not know.
way. Each of you makes your way towards the stairs and ascends to find yourself back in the Yellow Goblet. As you
Right.
emerge from the trapdoor on the ground, behind what we see here on the screen, behind the bar there, you notice that the trapdoor was closed, so you're opening it this time. It's heavy, but not anything that makes it where you can't get out or anything like that. As you emerge, you actually notice that this area at the moment is clear of any people, though you can hear people out in the common room.
Perfect. I dragged a little demon cat's body into this room, and I'll just plop it there so we can bring her back and show her.
All right, out in the common room, you hear the sound of Jadrian's voice as she's talking to a patron about the prices on the menu at the moment.
Blixel will find the nearest available booth and just sort of pour himself into it.
All right, you step out of this little area looking a bit worse for wear and kind of make your way over. You notice Jadrian talking to these folks sitting at a table. She kind of glances your way, doesn't really pay much attention, looks back and continues taking the order, then looks back at you once again as though it took her a moment to register that you're back. And then you see she kind of taps the table that she's at the moment as she walks over towards you and she says, welcome back. Did you find anything when you went down there?
Why don't you follow us back here, and we'll show you what we found.
Oh, that sounds ominous. Okay, let's see what you got.
So we'll lead her back to where the trapdoor is, and I'll point out the demon cat body and the other thing, whatever it was that... What do you call these, Saline? What'd you say it was?
It's a deathlock. White.
Deathlock. Deathlock white. The fuck is that? And here.
You notice she taps the helmet on her head as she shakes her head back and forth. What do you know? What those are down there? It's so strange. Didn't see nothing like that. None of the people reported anything like that either. You just found them right down in the basement, eh?
No. Well, kind of. We found these two in your basement, but we were able to move some crates around that looked like they had been tampered with, and we found an outcropping. We shimmied through it, and on the other side there's a deep tomb, it looks like. We weren't able to get too deep into it before we were attacked, but we plan to go deeper into it to make sure that we can completely rid it. There were, what do you call those hands again, Saline?
Gorlings.
And then there were ancient skeletons as well. Whatever you've been hearing correctly.
None of this makes any sense to me, but yeah, the voices in the head have been saying some things, but never would have thought they would have been connected to what's in the basement. How very strange.
Is there anyone nearby who may know the history of this town or something? Because it seems very strange to find a whole tomb in an underground chamber underneath the city. You'd think people would know.
Well, you have to understand that this place is kind of new. This hasn't been here for many, many years as some of the other places. But, I could talk to old Wilcox. He's kind of a local guy, knows a lot of stuff that happened in the past. Old timer. I can see if maybe I could find him and see what he knows.
Yeah. Does that come with mead?
We're not going down there anytime soon, I'll tell you that. We need to rest up. But we're not abandoning ya.
Do we need to block it off and make sure nothing creepy crawly comes on up?
That'd be a fair idea.
At least for now, but we'll probably go back down before the day's over. We just need to catch our breath, lick our wounds for a moment, and come up with a better plan. We didn't know what we were getting into.
I see. So I don't need to tell Ryan just yet. Then you're going to take care of it before the end of the day, you say? That'd be great.
Yes, we'll tell Ryans when we complete it ourselves.
Well, all right then. How about just help me move a couple of barrels on top of the trapdoor? Make sure nothing comes on up, huh?
Sure,
Well,
sure.
Well, what
Can we
about
get
Var?
around?
Did he didn't come back, did he? This way?
No, have not seen him.
So what does he look like? Can you let us know?
I can give you the best approximation as I can. Yeah, I've seen him a couple of times.
Well, let's hear it.
Better late than never.
Well, he's, I guess you could say, he's kind of a handsome man. Dark features, dark eyes, eyebrows. Has one of those very well manicured beards, kind of thin, but a lot of work into it. Long dark hair with kind of flows at the end. I guess some of the ladies might call him dreamy.
So a spitting image of you, huh, Vin? And I give him a little shove on the shoulder.
I could care less what he looks like as much as if he's alive or not. I mean, we saw no sign of him. I mean, none. There was no blood outside of our own.
Unless he's a necromancer, that is.
No. Var, necromancer? No, I don't imagine that to be the case. He's more like kind of, well, I guess you might call him kind of, guild tough, something like that. More of a brute, really, but the magic's arts. I can't imagine him doing much with that. But I must say, if you didn't find any sign of him, no blood, no body, then I must assume that he's still down there somewhere.
When he was offering to help you, did you see him with anyone? Did he have anybody who offered to go with him? Or did he just go down alone?
No, I went down alone when I was just looking for rats. Didn't seem like a job that needed quite a lot of help. But, quite capable at one, especially if it was just rats. And I don't know if you could say he offered to help out of the goodness of his heart or not, but more likely trying to earn some favors.
And outside of today, if we just forget about what happened when you've seen him before, is he ever with anyone?
Sure, yes.
Off in the distance. Maybe he had an accomplice.
Voices? I suppose anything is possible at this point, since you just told me that there's a tomb underneath my bar, but it seems kind of strange.
Aye. No one stands out to you, though.
He didn't have a whole lot of what you might call friends. He's kind of a bit of a loner, if you know what I mean. But sure, he spoke to people here and there, and was kind of life of the party, that kind of thing. But true friends that he could count on, or that seen with him all the time, not so much. More the kind of people who had drinking buddies and such.
I see. All right. Well, like you said, we'll get some of these barrels over the trapdoor for now. Could we get around while we catch our breath? Come up with an idea.
Of course. Find yourself a seat. Come right over.
That's tough, guys. I don't know what to think about it, because out of character for a second. If we just think about the layout of the subterranean area underneath this place, it extends out from underneath the Yellow Goblet, like towards the rest of the town, right? Adam, can you show us a map of the town?
I sure can.
He also said it was like a 5-minute crawl through the tunnel, so it's not like right underneath the bar. It's like,
yeah, I last session too, I tried to figure out if it was underneath something, and it didn't seem like it was.
Yeah, because there's
seemed
nothing
like
out
it
here
was
but like water and farmland, right? So
yeah, it seemed like it was one of the empty areas that was underneath. But
and the other side of the river is the other kingdom, right?
That is correct. That's Twerhiaville, the Elven Kingdom.
When we came in, Adam, because we came in this way,
Yes.
and then we came down this area here, and then we went over to Ryan's house, right? Kind of similar to that.
Yep.
On that way, did we see any churches or anything similar?
You did not. No, the only things that you noticed have been reflected in the yellow text for you.
Just trying to think, because if she said that this yellow goblet is a recently built thing, how much of the rest of the town is recently built? Because maybe there's some older buildings here. So I think we should go find that Wilcox dude. Maybe short rest, find Wilcox, get some information, and then we need to go back after him. If that's something you guys can get with.
Who is Wilcox again? I can't remember.
That's who she said would have information about things that happen, you know, the history of this town.
Oh, okay.
Maybe he'll have some ideas of what it could be. I mean, not a guarantee, but if we can get a little bit of an idea of it.
As you guys mentioned, I'm sure some of us would like more than just a short rest, but I don't know if we can wait that long.
I feel like 8 hours is a little risky because I mean, we do need to find Var alive.
Yeah.
I
We
agree.
don't get any information from him.
I'm just selfishly, warlocks don't need anything more than a short rest. So, but I'm also thinking of the party, so I just thought I'd throw it out there.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I won't have many spells, but a short rest will be enough for me to continue on.
Well, yeah, the short rest doesn't mean we need to decide to go down there right now either. I mean, we take a short rest, go discuss, figure things out, then make a decision from there.
Yeah, and also if like Celine isn't hurt, I'm not sure if you are, you can get spell slots back with short rest and stuff like that too. So
Yeah.
my vote is short rest and then see what we can do.
All right. Well, Adam, can we short rest while we're sitting around this table, having a few drinks and coming up with a plan? Would that be all right?
Yeah, as long as you're willing to spend an hour here, yeah.
It's fine with me. I don't need to fix my AC. It's 14, not 13.
All right, and let's see. Everybody has it. Looks like Baron, you don't have a short rest, but everybody else.
No, I do. I was just changing it. I was messing with it right now, trying to make sure I record my last long short rest.
All right, so looks like everybody has at least one then. So I'm going to mark everybody short rest. I assume everybody wants to take one. Here you go.
All right, I'm gonna play my card, Adam, for relaxing rest, which will give everybody 2 short rest options.
Oh, nice. I was just trying to figure out which one I wanted to do.
And actually, I'm going to also play a little ditty with a song of rest.
Nice.
With this card, are we able to select the same one twice, or do we have to pick 2 different ones?
2 different ones.
Okay. I have to look at the options. I'll also use Arcane Recovery.
Adam, I have advantage on hit dice, so I'm just gonna roll 2d8 standard and then subtract the hit die after I roll, if that's okay.
Sure, yeah, that works.
I did hero point and hit die.
I also did hero point and hit die. I am gonna do my last.
Oh, we picked 2 things?
Yep.
Because of the card that Vin spent, it's relaxing.
Oh, I see. Okay. Cool.
And don't forget your bloodline ability comes back with short or long rest as well. Some of them do.
Yep. My cure wounds will come back. All right.
I forgot about the Song of Rest, Adam. I'm gonna put myself back at the health I was before I rolled those hit dice and roll that 1d6 instead. Nice. Perfect. So I've got 1 hit dice left. I restored 1 hero point.
Yep, so just as a reminder, with our resting rules, you don't have to worry about your total hit dice. When you take a short rest, you pick one of those 4 options. You can, if you take 2 short rests, you can pick one twice. It doesn't actually reduce your hit dice. It's just an option you can take at each rest.
Oh, cool.
And we can't choose 2 hero points if we wanted to.
Not with the card, right. So at each short rest, you typically only pick one. Because of the card, it's allowing you to pick a second one, but right, you can't pick the same one twice.
Right. Well, I got to say, after a few beers, you all look a lot chipper.
I feel almost fully better.
Hey, Adam, just to let you know, I'm going to take away wariness, and I did the hit dice, but I'll take away the wariness when we're on another map. It didn't seem to want me to move this one.
Oh, yeah, these tokens are still assigned, or actually, these tokens aren't assigned to anything. So, yep, once you get next to the, back to the first one, yeah, feel free.
Yep.
But we had wariness removed unless. Oh yeah, you went down. Sorry.
Yeah, I was weeble wobbling there for a little while.
I forgot. You look good as new.
And we gotta talk about that sanctuary spell. I think I like that.
I just felt like something's got to happen to save you, and I'm glad it worked. And as I say that, I'm gonna fidget with my my ring, which is my patron connection with the genie, and kind of think about that it wasn't me. It's him working through me, and I'll just ruminate about that a little bit. I think it's a him. He now thinks maybe it's a girl.
I'm getting I Dream of Genie vibes.
Yeah.
Oh, that she raised me.
Dude, I
it
wish.
was wonderful.
She was hot, bro.
I was young. I was
Super
like,
hot,
that's
man.
who I want when I grow up. I want a genie in a bottle.
Good. All right. So, Adam, can we say while we were sitting there and maybe on one of the rounds of drinks, we asked, how do I say her name? Jarian?
Jadrian.
Jadrian. Can we ask Jadrian where we can find Wilcox?
You can, yes, and she will offhandedly, as she's kind of serving drinks, let you know that you can find him in Rendell proper. She kind of gives you quick coordinates to say that he is nearby Ferris's Arms and Armor. He's the house essentially just to the west of Ferris's Arms and Armor.
And before we make the mistake again, just a general description of what he looks like.
So yeah, as you ask this question, she says, "Oh well, he's kind of distinctive looking. He's an old man, of course, but has the sort of brown spots on his head, thin and grayish white hair, and has some of the strangest eyes I ever saw. Kind of like yellow, almost maybe gold."
All right. Well, we're going to be off. We're going to go ask him a few questions, see if we can gather some information and rearm ourselves, and then we'll be back here. Don't let anyone else down there. It is very dangerous.
But you sure you're coming back? Just want to make sure they don't have to let Ryan know, because he'll want to know right away. Take care of this, make sure it's not a problem.
It'll be less than an hour. We'll be back.
You see, she kind of looks at you a bit nervously. Go ahead and give me a blind check here, Vin.
Token?
All right, then. Sounds good. Just make sure you hurry on back. I don't want to wait too long.
Send a search party if we don't return.
Don't know if I have the resources for that, but yeah, see what I can do.
All right, Adam, we'll roll out in the direction of Ferris's Arms and Armor.
While we're at it, I don't know how long it would take, but maybe they can take a look at your damaged weapons and see if they can do something about it.
Aye. Take a lot of time though.
Yeah,
That
maybe.
dagger that Baron gave me is nice. I could use another one.
That's
I
true.
like
We could
having
just
one to
get
throw.
more.
All right, you guys slowly make your way through Rundale, and you can see folks walking about. Some of them dressed in some really vibrant, bright colors as they're making their way through the town proper. Most of the people see you, and they definitely take notice of you as you're obviously more heavily armored and geared than most of the other people that they see. Occasionally, you'll actually see people kind of stop and lean against a building and just try to watch you without making it super obvious that they're watching you, but you
Any
definitely kind of
freaking women?
stick out a bit. Sure, yeah, there definitely would be a handful here or there, mostly just your average kind of folks.
I want to approach a dark-haired one, sturdy gal.
All right, yeah, we can assume you found one like that.
Yeah, I'll totally get distracted, and I'll spend a couple of minutes chatting with her.
While he's doing that, Adam, can you give us a time check as I'm tracking my circle of the wind?
Yeah, so you guys just spent an hour short rest. You're looking for what time of day it is right now?
Yeah.
Based on what you guys have done so far, travel and all that, I feel like it's getting to the point of like late in the afternoon, so about 3 p.m.
Okay, I should be good for a few more hours on my circle of the wind, my 8-hour spell.
So Vin's opening line is, you can't tell anybody this, but I'm a prince.
Okay, so you say as you say this, you notice she kind of looks at you and perhaps is a little bit not necessarily believing this right away, but yeah, go ahead and be a blind check. Yeah, as you say this, you notice she kind of gives you a look that you get the impression of she doesn't really believe you quite all that right. Oh, you don't say. Well, I just ran into another prince just yesterday, Prince of the Copper Coin.
He sounds broke. Why don't you meet me later tonight at the Yellow Goblet, and I can tell you tales of our revelry and our expansive empire. But I've got to run. See, my friends are calling me. Goodbye.
And you notice she kind of like watches you as you walk away and then just shakes her head and goes on her way.
I'm gonna stop and then turn and look at her and make sure she sees me look at her, and then take back off and catch up with my brother.
All right.
Where do you run off
Damn.
to? Let's go.
Look, with what we have become, Ben, you have to think about our future. We need to raise sons and daughters.
What? I have to say it. Never thought about that. Keep the
Of course.
bloodline.
You haven't thought about it.
No, I don't.
you
I
do is
think about
read.
you, all the Tegan, all the time. And
We got
Celine.
you. Worry. Look, what do you want to be, brother? You heard Blixel. He said he wants to be a great entertainer. He knows everything we have at stake here. Everything. What we could have. He could be a fucking duke if he wanted. But he says, I want to be a good entertainer. What about you? Have you thought about that? Do you have something that your heart beats for more than just protecting your family?
You know, brother, don't tell anyone, but I'm just an ordinary man. There's nothing good in me besides the ability that I have from founding this genie. But I do my best in this life. I'm happy with Celine and you as my friends. I'll have to think about it a bit more, but you raise a good point.
Well, think about it, brother. But I'll tell you this. You're the second smartest person I've ever met behind Celine, but let's be honest. She's kind of incredible. She knows everything.
No, yeah, she's the one that's going to be a duchess or whatever they're called.
Dukas.
A duchess?
Hadoukas.
Duchess? Whatever they're called.
That sounds like poop.
I think he was going for Street Fighter there.
I was. Thank you for the.
Hadouken.
So I'll kind of shove Baron and catch up with Tavard and see how he's looking. Alright, we're going to this place over here that has arms and armor. If they've got a hand axe, pick it out, big boy. I'll buy it for you. I owe it to you.
Do you guys have money? I ain't got nothing.
I got some unmarked coins.
I've got some money for you.
I've got
You
like
can
8.
have it if you want. I
8
got
little
16.
pieces.
16 gold ones right here in my hand.
Wow.
Hey, Blixel. You know you have
Hey.
that bow now. You can shoot things from afar, you know.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Well, you got hit in the mouth a few times down there.
Yeah, definitely. But I'll use the bow if I need it.
Alright. I remember when you shot that hare when we were in the tree. You remember?
Yeah, yeah.
We never found that thing, but I know you hit it. I saw it. I know you hit it.
I never miss.
Alright. We'll look out for this dude's house. She said it's around this area, right?
Yes, you get the impression that you are standing right in front of the house that was mentioned.
Alright, Celine, you're up.
Me?
Does anyone here know what questions to ask this dude? Other than you?
Well, what am I asking him?
I was hoping you'd
What?
tell me.
You gotta ask him what used to be here before the town. Because obviously that tomb or whatever was from before.
You can, whatever you do, you just tell the story of what we encountered, and we heard that you might know some history about it. I don't mind letting
do
the
we-
cat out of the bag.
Do we want to be spreading, I guess they're not rumors, but do we want to be letting everybody know that there's a crazy necromantic tomb underneath their town?
What do I care? It's not my house, but
We don't have
someone
to-
should know.
In the service of getting the info we need, sure. What's this guy gonna do?
You can lie also, Celine. I mean,
No, I
he doesn't need to
can't.
know about the
No,
skeleton.
no. You don't need to lie. Look, by the way, the bartender didn't tell us to keep our mouth shut about it, right? What's her name? So
Just say we came across a necromantic tomb under the yellow goblet, and we wanted to know before we got our noses too dirty what was here before.
I have an
Doesn't need
idea,
to know all the
actually.
other stuff.
Serena, do you still have that plate you got from one of those sarcophagi?
Sure do.
What if we show him that? It's got like a pattern on it. Maybe he'll recognize.
See, now you see why I asked you.
oh, and also the necklace or the medallion you got, Serena.
Yeah, I'm wearing that.
Looks good.
I'm hand the plate to Celine.
You got this, Celine.
Get in there.
I give her a wink.
Yeah, and Blix was like, puts a hand
before
on her
she-
shoulder. You
Before
got
she's
this.
ready, I knock on the door.
I was gonna say if you make her knock on the door, she's gonna stand there looking like she doesn't know how to, pretending she doesn't know how to do it.
We
For
all
some
take a
time,
couple
so.
steps back, so she's there like all by herself just a little bit.
All right, and from inside you hear a voice just kind of speak out, "A moment," and then you see about 30 seconds later or so the door is slowly opened, revealing an older man's face as he looks through the doorway towards you, Saline. Yes, what is it that I can help you with, young lady?
Hi. We were told that, I look back to see where my friends are and see if they've retreated.
I'm
Sounds
Sounds
like
like
a
a
How
few
far back are
steps.
they?
yeah, yeah. I
Blix
mean,
was
I'm
just
out
sort
of
of
arm's
staring.
reach. I give you a thumbs up. Oh,
The proprietor of the tavern down there said you're the person to talk to if we have questions about like history and other things about this town, and we're new here, you see, and we wanted to learn a bit more about local legends
Young
and
people interested in the history of the town. Well, You don't see this every day. Sure. Just a moment, I'll be right with you. He closes the door and rummages around inside for like 30 seconds or so, opens the door again, steps out, pulling the door behind him. And you see on this like little porch area, there's kind of like different upturned barrels and things that are makeshift seats. And you see he kind of goes over to one and dusts it off with his hand and motions with his hand for you to sit down on a nearby one, and then slowly lowers himself. He's holding a ledger that he brought from inside, and he sits down on it, and then he looks towards you. Well, isn't this nice? What is it that you would like to know about our fair Rendale?
We heard that it was fairly recently built, and we're curious what used to be here before, if you know anything about that, and how the town came to be afterwards.
Well, the town has been here for quite a while, but the town started off quite small. Believe it or not, even though most places start off building by the river, this had a different starting, Rendale did. We actually started building in the shadow of the mountain, and then started building out towards the river. Of course, we use the river to get water and such, but, well, nobody really wanted to build too close to the river. In fact, that was always one of the cautions. Don't go too close to the river. Back in those times, of course, the elves weren't as genial as they are today. This, of course, all used to be their land at one point in time, and things were still sore then, but it's gotten better over time.
Was there actually an elven settlement on this side of the river, or was it just contested territory?
Maybe at one time. Elves, you see, they don't build settlements like we do. They build them in trees and natural places. You won't find grand cities of the same style that we make in the elvish lands. Hard to say if maybe some of the trees that have since been cut down hosted some homes of the elf people.
Jordan's furiously taking notes right now. Scribble. I'm going to look up on the porch at them and see where they're sitting. Does it seem like maybe there's like another spot that I can come and sit down as well?
Probably a couple of other barrels nearby that, yeah, you could kind of shift over and sit on.
Sure. I'll come in so I can hear the conversation.
All right, you notice he kind of raises his head as he sees you approaching, and he just gives you a slight nod.
Vioven, sir. You can call me Vin.
Riurik? Oh, well, yeah, I won't hold that against you, Vin. Welcome.
Annoying last name, don't worry.
I see. Well, us Anwirians are pretty proper with how we speak. I
was raised in a hamlet, sir. I haven't really had to learn much proper, like.
I see.
I'm not here to speak. I'm only here to listen. Your history, definitely. I want to learn more. So don't mind me. I'm just here to listen.
You see he kind of raises an eyebrow at you as he turns back and looks towards you again, Saline. Was there anything else specific that you wanted to know, young lady?
We did find this thing on our travels not too long after we arrived here, and I'll produce the plate. Do you recognize the pattern on this? It's quite well made, I think. A little old, but...
You see he looks at it and then hands it back to you and says, just a moment. And he starts patting around his tunic here, and eventually he produces this like monocle, and then he holds his hand out for you to give him the plate again, holds the monocle up to his eye and kind of looks at it carefully. Well, it certainly seems to bear some resemblance to some things of this era, but from many years ago. I think I remember a family that had a set of plates like this back in the day. But, oh, it's been so long now. Where did you find this, if I might ask?
You can
Well,
tell him.
we took a job for the inn proprietress, the tavern lady Jadrian, and it was among her effects, down in her basement.
You see he chuckles for a moment as he puts his hand on his stomach. Did I hear you right? Did you say improprietus? Ha! What a funny turn of phrase.
I just have a habit of misspeaking when I'm nervous, but yeah, she said to ask you about it because you usually know these things apparently. So you said it was from like an ancient, or maybe not ancient, but an era a long time ago.
Well, Miss Black is quite smart to point you in my direction. I'm probably one of the longest tenants of Rendale. I can't think of anybody else who knows more about the founding of the town than I. But yes, it was owned by a family. Can't quite remember the name, to be honest. There was a lot of different families that kind of came and went in the early years. So, but yes, I would say this is a family heirloom, most likely. Probably worth a pretty penny to a collector.
Okay. Well, we're interested in history anyway. Do you have like, maybe you don't know which family names it came from, but who were the major families just in general back in the day?
Oh, well, let's see. The most prominent ones would be, well, the Wells. They were quite well known back in the day. They came from a family of well diggers, and of course that is a skill that is quite needed. Not so much here in Rendale, of course, since we're right next to the water, but when somebody wants a well dug, well, the Wells were the ones to do it. Let's see who else. Well, of course, there was the Ferris family. They're descendants of Man the Arms Shop right across the way there, and you see he points with a shaky hand. Let's see who else. Well, there was a small group of the Blacks. The Blacks were well known in this area. They were very fine, upstanding citizens, though always on the move, so they didn't put down permanent roots, only stayed maybe 20 years or so before they kind of, went on their way. Couple of other families that I can think of, but it's been so long, the names kind of fade. But do you have a particular reason to ask who might have owned this plate? I can't imagine it is pertinent to somebody other than a record keeper.
Well, no particular reason, but you mentioned the name Black. Isn't that Jadrian's name as well? Like, maybe it's a long time. Maybe it belongs to her, and if it does, we would need to return it to her, of course.
It's possible, but Jadrian is only a Black by marriage a couple of generations back. You see, the Blacks, they originally came here from the south, if memory serves. That's where most families came from, excepting those that came from the north. He says this as he kind of scans by Vin's face once again. But, of course, the Blacks, Jadrian being one of the few remaining here any longer, it's not exactly as though she's prominent in any way, forgiving me saying that, of course.
Of course. Do you know if the Blacks built that tavern, or did they acquire it afterwards?
Oh, no, Jadrian, she acquired it, but the Yellow Goblet was actually only built, say, 5 years ago or so now. So it's, you see, it's kind of a strange situation. I'm not sure if you're interested in local gossip, but if you are, I can sort of tell you the story.
Sure. I think any bit of information is helpful.
Well, you see, some 70 years ago or so, there was this one man who was always around, and, what was his name? H something. Hal something. Yeah. Halmead, yes, that's it. You see, he kind of gives you a questioning look. Yes, Halmead, it was indeed. Well, he was kind of a wanderer, and, well, in that time, the town was closer to the mountain and didn't quite stretch to the river yet, but he would always go on these nighttime excursions off towards the river, and then when people discussed and said they were going to build closer that way, he was always there to caution, no, don't build towards the river, build north or south, or maybe towards the mountainside, and do what you can there, but he really didn't want people pushing the buildings to the east, and, well, of course, he eventually lost that vote and kind of disappeared. But, yes, how do you know of Halmead?
Well, to be honest, we have heard the name before. I'm somewhat of a reader myself. I can't remember where I read it exactly, but it turned up in contemporary texts once or twice, and I just I happen to remember it, but it's
Quite interesting. Halmead was old even then, and I was a very, very young lad at that time. But I'm surprised to hear his name has made its way into any kind of record books that have stretched beyond Rendale, unless you found something here. But nonetheless, well, I thought I was the only one who even remembered the old man.
Did he? Sorry, I was arguing in Discord with somebody. Did he have like a did he have like a family? So I might have missed this part. Did he have like a family that he left behind, or was he? I know you said he was like a loner type, but is there anyone else in town?
No family that I know of. Halmead, yes, he was indeed a loner type. He had a bit of a dark reputation, you might say. Nothing sinister, of course, but some people around the town used to say that he was up to no good, or that he would go into the darkness and perform rituals and things, and, nothing really ever came of it, but as I say, one day he just sort of vanished.
Interesting. When did that happen? And was there any like rhyme or reason for it?
Well, it was after he had been arguing with some of the other elders of the town about their plan to build closer and closer to the river. He had kept saying that no, it wasn't a good thing, and that some things should be left the way they are, and most people didn't quite understand, because it's, of course, good usable land heading towards the river there. Building in the other directions would make the town oddly shaped, they said. They didn't want to do that, so naturally they built closer to the river. And he kept pushing back, and it must be, perhaps 60 years ago now that he vanished?
Just without a trace, there was no, like, events that happened around that time that would give anyone reason to...
I was a young man at that time, a teenager in fact, but no, nothing happened that I can recall. I just remember people always talking about him and saying that he mumbled to himself and sometimes seemed to have discussions with somebody who wasn't there. Strange behavior, of course. Every town has one or two. But, yes, one day he sort of walked out into the night at dark time and nobody saw him again. It was, the people said that it was almost as though the night swallowed him.
How curious.
Indeed, it was a bit of a local mystery, you might say, but many presume that he just got fed up with the others here who didn't agree with him and perhaps went south or north to find a different place to call his own.
When the town expanded in that direction afterwards, were there any like strange happenings, or were his warnings just the ravings of a crazy person?
There was a few strange things that happened. There was a group of elf kind, I remember at one point, who came by and threw quite a bit of an angry rant towards those that had been building closer that way, but as I say, the town didn't get along with the elves well then, and, well, after a show of force, they fled, and there was a bit of tension between us and the Elven Kingdom, because at that time this wasn't even an Enwerian kingdom property in proper terms or by legal means, you see. More of a settlement, I guess you could say.
Interesting. And to your knowledge, there aren't any elves living in this city, right? They just come to visit and like shop in the markets, or are there any local elves that we might be able to inquire more about this?
None that live here that I know of, being so close to the border. They'd prefer to live in their own lands, of course, but things have changed, and sometimes they come by and engage in commerce and purchase some things and sell some things. In fact, last year I was even able to purchase a beautiful flower from the Elven lands, something you don't see around here.
Well, thank you for the information you've given us so far. It's quite impressive how this town has such a storied history, being sandwiched between the mountains and the other kingdom like that. Um, it's good to know that there are people here who respect that history and want to carry it on. Vin, did you have any questions you wanted to ask him while you're sitting over there?
Sure. Mr. Wilcox, this is not pertinent to Rindell per se, but more so your just general knowledge. You seem to be well versed in a lot of things. Can you tell me what happened to Steel Gladdenil in your own words?
Oh, well, unfortunately, that's one of those things that depends on who you ask. Why are you asking, son?
Well, your answer, pretty much. We've heard a lot of different things since we've left our hamlet. You see, us are traveling companions here, and I'll kind of point out to everyone. We're all from the same place. We left, obviously seeking adventure, learning more about the world. Celine here, well, she's kind of like you. She's our record keeper, but she's a more capable fighter than she admits to herself. My twin brother there, Ben, we've met someone named Tegan, and she mentioned these Gladdenils and this man Steele, who, before the current person who runs this Cariele, something happened to him, and we've heard conflicting reports. So, just like you, I'm curious to know about this place, and you said everyone shares different opinions, so could you tell me yours?
You see he kind of like moves his foot along the ground for a moment as though he's thinking, and then he looks back towards you. Unfortunately, it's not that easy, I'm afraid. Things happen, and as they say, victors write the rule books and the history books and so on. And then there, of course, are people who say, is that really what happened? Or perhaps it's more of a take that isn't as real as it is optimistic, or favors some more than others, and none can really know for sure. I always just think that sometimes you have to read between the lines, whether that's in a book or what happens.
And do you remember what happened, sir?
Only the tales that were told, and of course over the years different people have spoken about things, but it's one of those topics that is best not brought up in polite company. You see, people have different ways of looking at it, and some people get very offended if their way is not how you see it, and vice versa. It's best to just move on.
Can I insight check him, madam?
Sure, what is it you're trying to insight?
I can tell that he's kind of holding back, but with his facial expressions, does he seem more on the side like his personal opinion has maybe gotten him in trouble before?
Okay, sure. Yeah, give me a blind check.
Can I throw a hero point on this, Adam?
Well, first has to be a blind check, so go ahead and post a blind
My
check,
bad.
but yes, you can.
Blind check and then hero point.
All right. I would say you get the pretty strong suspicion that he likely holds the less popular opinion, which means he probably doesn't believe the story that has been told that, Steele was guilty of treason. He probably feels otherwise, but has gotten himself in some trouble in the past by talking about it. So now he's very, very carefully dancing around his words.
Okay. I'm gonna call Baron's name. Brother, come here.
He stops fidgeting with his ring and steps up.
Mr. Wilcox, sir, I can promise you on everything that I'm not here to judge you or your opinion. I know I may look simple-minded, but I could tell by your body language that you've been accused of having the less popular opinion. What if I told you, and this is between us, as a sign of faith, that maybe we know more about the situation than you do, and we're just trying to find friendly faces?
Well, hard to say. Well, you very well could, because, there was a lot of secrecy surrounding that whole endeavor. But as far as friendly faces, I'm just an old man. I don't have much to offer except the stories and tales from the past. If something of that would be of benefit to you, I share it willingly. To me, the young folks too frequently forget the past and make some of the same mistakes.
It's more important to us than you may realize, sir. I'm gonna ask you a specific question about one of those rumors that may have circled around. Steele and his wife, Ulrika. Do you remember if they bared children?
Yes, I believe that they did.
Twins, right?
I had heard something along those lines, if memory serves.
And when I tell you I have an Enwirian last name, would you like to make an inference of what that may be?
You see he kind of like blinks his eyes and cocks his head a little bit as he looks between the two of you. I would not wish to say that out loud, and I would recommend you don't either. This is a guild town.
Well, which is why we're speaking to you, quietly on your porch, sir. We just want to know the truth. Can you tell us your opinion, even if it's the least popular one? We need to hear it.
You see he kind of looks at between the two of you carefully and like sags forth a little bit and leans and says, I've always been of the mind that there was something underhanded that took place back then. It seemed too fortuitous for things to go the way they did. Steele was a good ruler, if a bit stubborn, but that didn't sit well with some of the powers that be, and I am of the opinion that he became a distraction or an impediment to those who wished to take Cariele in a different direction, and so therefore he was moved out of the way.
Was the orchestrator in Tyr?
Ha! And you see he laughs and then kind of catches himself for a moment. Oh, well, forgive my outburst, but if you knew much about Antir, you would know that he's a bit of a fop. He doesn't have much rolling around in that head of his. A bit simple-minded. I doubt he could engineer such a plot. But he's a useful stand-in, someone to look the part, but doesn't really have the brains or the courage to do much.
Now, just one last question, so we don't bend the subject too much. Do you know what happened to our mother?
You see he kind of collects himself a little bit, like pulls his hands up, kind of wipes down in front of his legs. Unfortunately, I've heard different stories, but I can't say I know the truth. That information is very well guarded, it seems. If I had to guess, though, I would be surprised if she wasn't still in Carolinian.
I'm going to kind of stand up off the barrel and dust myself off and reach into my bag, and I'm going to pull out one of these little wooden talismans that I have with that I've carved using my wood carvers tools. Just having them, they look like little coins, and they have just a single acorn on them with a V in the middle. And I'm just gonna hand it to him and say, just thank you.
You see he looks at it, kind of turns it over in his hand and looks back towards you and says, happy that I could help share a bit of knowledge that I've acquired throughout the years.
Don't lose that. It may be important for you to have one day.
You see he looks at it and raises almost like a questioning eye back towards you. I hope that that is the case.
And then, like, when I step off the porch, I'm gonna kind of like switch back into, well, Celine, good job. How do you feel after that?
Well, I'm still sitting here. Thank you, sir, for the information that you gave us.
You are very welcome, young lady. If you need to learn more, feel free to come back and bring cookies.
Will do. Have a good day. And then I jump up a little too quickly and run back to the group.
And as you're exiting from this area, you notice he slowly gets up off the barrel and kind of shifts it back to where it was and takes very slow steps back to his door.
Out of character. Sorry, guys. I just picked up a weird vibe from this dude, and I kind of wanted to dive into the main story thing there a little bit. So sorry if that sidetracked us a second.
That was risky, but it worked out.
An hour from now, the guards are going to show up at the trap door when we're trying to come out. It's like,
Yeah, I don't know if I can keep you alive if you keep telling people.
I haven't told anybody. I just told you guys, and then this is the first person that I've even mentioned it to.
In the first town that we arrive in.
Yeah, but he's old as dirt. He came out with a ledger, and he seems like a nice guy. I wrote a hell of an insight check, apparently.
Well, and
There's only one of me.
Yeah, there's only one. So that reminds me, that medallion. Did you ever get a chance to look? Who can look at that? Is it a special medallion? It looks beautiful around your neck.
well, we looked at it when we recovered it, and we didn't notice anything.
Oh, we did do an identify on it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, not identify the spell, but we looked at it and did like a check, and he said that it wasn't. It didn't see. Nothing stood out to us, is what he said.
Okay, cool.
Aside from it being jewelry. Well,
And I didn't notice any difference after the short rest.
No, but you don't suspect that you would notice any difference.
Look,
Just
I
make
noticed
sure-
it. I noticed a difference after you put that on. You turned into a ghost. Has no one else thought of that? Am I the only one that sees the obvious?
Okay, why don't you wear it and we'll see if you turn into
No,
a
no,
ghost.
no, don't put
No.
that thing near me. And I step back.
I'm gonna be real with you. I sort of sensed something before she even did that.
Why didn't you say something? What's wrong with me?
I don't know.
Well, Serena, didn't something happen when we were little? You go missing or something?
Yeah, I only lost like 5 years of my life and my memories.
Well, could this have happened during that 5 years, I suppose?
That's my best guess too. I wonder what it was.
Do you eat?
Normally, but it's once I got this wood carving, it's like I can feel my brother's love and I just it sustains me, I guess.
That's beautiful. Say that again. Write that down, Celine, in one of your stories that you write. That was beautiful. His presence, just remembering the love of your brother, is sustaining you.
Yeah, I'm sure he's thinking of me.
Laurie must have been a fine chap.
It's having quite an effect, and that's when I sort of stopped being hungry or sleepy.
And your urge to kill us in our sleep, where would you rate that? High? Low? Medium?
Depends how annoying you are over the course of the day.
Okay.
Blixel knocks his longbow.
Blix. No. We've known her a long time, Blixel. Has she ever harmed you once?
Well, she did have me go look at those hands.
Well, yeah, but
where
I
they
mean,
tried to attack me, and I don't know, something smells about her.
That was funny though.
That was a good one, actually, and I'll give a good, well-earned laugh. Maybe too loud, but I need a good laugh.
put your bow down, Blixel. She's no threat to us. She never has been.
He walked away, but I'm sure he does.
So, do we learn anything else from this?
Yeah,
Wilcox?
it sounds like what's his name? Halmead is a bloody necromancer.
There were bad rumors about him, and he was around the town when that old guy was when Sir Wilcox was much younger. So he was old then, and apparently his voice is still down. Something identifying itself as Halmead is still down there. But Blixel didn't detect anything untoward through that door, right? You were able to sense the other ones, but not from him. Is that right?
Yeah, I only detected those two doors, and then that's it.
Wow. Clearly, whatever that place is was the secret that this Halmead character didn't want anyone finding out about if they built the town in that direction. But I mean,
How did you know that name, Halmead?
How did I know that name?
Yeah. Did I forget it?
He said it, didn't he? When Blixel tried to talk to him?
I thought you said. Who said it?
That statue thing, right? That asked us for like a favor or something.
There was that thing behind the door that said
No,
she
yeah.
requires an offering, and he introduced himself as Halmead.
Yeah. Blixel identified himself and asked him for his name, and he said he was Halmead.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I never saw them. It was just someone from behind a door.
Yeah.
So who knows? Maybe it's like a giant spider now that calls itself Helmead. I don't know.
Well, that Halmead probably is the one who brought down our friend Tavard.
Well, let's say Var told Jadrian that he would go down there because he already knew what was down there. That could explain why nothing attacked him and we didn't see his body anywhere.
I mean, maybe he just had the right offering.
That's true. We didn't try that route.
No, we just didn't know what to give.
Risky though.
He said, if I remember correctly, he asked for gold or gems, something of value.
Yeah, I don't have any of that though. I got 12 gold pieces. Everybody, I'm broke. I'm thinking
I've got
about
8.
doing a performance tonight, but I mean, we do have the amulet now, or the medallion, and that plate.
Sure,
And
but we got
unmarked gold
those.
pieces.
Mm. We got those from the skeletons. I don't know if they're gonna appreciate like a regifting kind of thing. Like that was
Yeah,
theirs.
you just scratch the tag off. It's all good.
Thing it says TJ Maxx on it. Like, no.
Yeah, just scrape the bone dust off of it and dust it off and give it to him.
The plate. I mean, I was thinking that too. I can't deny it. But that
I
could
mean,
also piss him off as well.
yeah, it could. I mean, the only thing else of value I really have is shipwrecker, which I don't really want to give away.
Oh heck no. I have some money left. But I still don't know if we should speak to him. I think, we just need a better plan about how we enter and exit these rooms. We did good up until we got pin-cushioned by those archers from both sides.
Anything that gets us through safer, because I'm out of rages. I'm feeling not very angry anymore.
What were you angry when you're in ghost form?
No, that was something different. It's like when I got desperate, I changed.
I give you another little poke on the arm.
Well, hopefully, we don't have to go much further. I mean, we made pretty good progress. We took out a lot of those things. But, who can see in the dark again?
I
The
can.
3 of you?
Tavard, Saline, and Blixel, I think.
I can.
Oh yes, we're the only ones, brother. We're
Okay.
the burden in the party.
So maybe we stay back with torches and allow you guys to move forward quietly. See if you could sneak your way up and scout. Have an idea of what we're getting into. Move more methodically. I think we can do it.
I mean, I'm willing to try.
I mean, you guys know
Sounds
I'm a
good.
heck of a shot. So as long as I can see them, I can shoot them.
Yeah, it wasn't fair. They just shot me from a distance. I didn't even see the bastards.
Exactly. And light seemed to attract them, so that sounds like the plan. Vin and Ban, be in the back. Celine, Serena, Devard, Blixel. Maybe form some kind of formation of your own up front. Who's the sneakiest? Celine weighs like 92 pounds. It's gotta be hard to hear her.
I wouldn't
Less
say
so
that,
in
brother.
the
Not
armor, but there's also we didn't go the other way. Like there was remember when we regrouped after the skeleton the battle with the skeletons, there was a hallway to the north with a set of double doors up there.
Yes.
Yeah, it seemed like there was more doors.
So we could try going that way before walking face first into whatever that was. I didn't even really see much of what was happening over there. Tavard, can you tell us what happened?
I got hit a whole bunch.
But by
I-
what?
I've sussed
I
that part
couldn't
out.
see anything. It just was a hallway, and then all of a sudden, boom, boom, boom. Yeah, that's it.
Not arrows, we didn't have to pull them out of you, so something else.
Yeah, it almost seems like a trap or something.
Could be.
Did you hear anything like before it happened or
I don't remember hearing
I don't-
anything. I think I just kind of walked in, got shot with these kind of like these power beams or something, I don't know.
Well, we heard the footsteps, and that's what you were investigating. So something walking away
Yeah, but I don't think I would have heard the footsteps from where they would have been if I couldn't have seen them. I
Sure,
don't think those
sure.
were the same. I mean, unless they
Two
ran.
different things.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, we heard someone closing the doors. So those doors we opened, they went back and sort of reset the whole place.
It made me feel like he was just cleaning up. Maybe. Did we see any bodies there, Adam, in the hallways as we retraced our steps? The archers and the skeleton soldiers.
Yes, yep. The skeletal soldiers, the archers were in the room that you guys were in as you heard the sound, so those were still there. As you came back to the areas where both doors were closed, you did indeed see the skeletal soldiers and the skeleton with the sort of skirt.
Okay.
Okay.
So I think Jordan was talking about we go to that T intersection, make a right. We'll call it the ghostly encounter, where Serena turned into a ghost and Blixel went down, and then we didn't go north from that room. Is that correct, Jordan?
Yeah, we
Okay.
we had to fall
Wait.
back at that point.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so that'd be the plan then. We'll go straight to try to avoid whatever that crap is that was shooting at us. Okay, I can get with that.
I can't think of a better one. We're not running away.
And Blixel, do you have the ability to do that thing where you can sense evil? That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay.
I lean into brother and say, I can do it too.
I lean into brother and say, "Oh, mother is apparently alive."
Yes.
Blitzel leans in between the two of them and is like, what are you guys talking about?
And we all three of us bonk heads. Ow!
Oh.
Well, let's be off.
Yeah. That looks silly. While we're here, does anybody need to buy anything? I know we don't have a lot of money, but we
Maybe
have
you
enough
could.
to chip in together if we need to.
Yeah, Tavar, do you have a broken weapon, right?
I also have my quarterstaff though.
Yeah,
My
but if that gets broken too, you're left with fist
uh,
pickups.
well, then I'm down with the broken warhammer. I mean, my warhammer is what's broken right now.
Well, let's go see if they just got one on the shelf. Real quick, but I know we're killing time. We're not killing time, we're wasting time.
My weapon is not as sharp as it was, so if we could find a place to sharpen it, that would be ideal. But
Well, I
Well,
forgot.
there's an
I picked
armory
up
right
this.
over there.
I did
Yeah.
pick up this long sword. Does anybody like long swords?
No, I back away.
Sarita?
yeah, well, I mean, I'd rather have something with a little more reach.
Oh, maybe a
But
backup?
yeah, I'll carry it for sure. Thanks.
It's just a basic long sword.
Yeah, let's go to the armory and see if we can pick up something out of it. It's probably going to take a while to fix the weapons that are broken. I'm assuming.
I think it'd be cheaper to just buy new ones. I mean, we're talking about completely repairing withered away stuff. That sounds
Yeah.
expensive.
And you can have my money. I'm not holding on to it for a savings account.
Well,
Alright.
all right, Adam. We'll run over there real quick.
So
before
it
we go
sounds
back
like the
to
plan is to head to Ferris's Arms and Armor, see what you can find there, and then once you're done there, make your way back to the underneath of the Yellow Goblet.
Yeah.
Unfinished business.
Yes, please.
All right, sounds good. We are about halfway through our session time here, folks. Let's go ahead and take our 15-minute break, and we will pick up on the other side.
Cool.
All right.
Alrighty, we are the second half of our session here, folks. Let's go ahead and get you back on map. You guys are currently in the town of Rendale and headed over to Ferris's Arms and Armor to see what they have there and perhaps pick up some new stuff for your damaged weapons.
I'll approach whoever's working, but before we get up there, I'm gonna slow down by Saline and say, "Hey, didn't Old Man Wilcox say that Ferris was one of those old names?"
I think so.
Do you think he'll buy that plate?
Maybe we can always try. Although, if they're in the business of arms and armor, only
Probably
only
not, eh?
so much as he's a collector.
I
There's no
can't
harm in
help
trying.
I can't help but overhearing you, but every time you try to sell a relic like that, they're gonna ask where'd you get it, and I'd hate to take the risk to explain that. If we have the gold, I say we use it.
I could have raided a family crypt for all we know. So yeah.
Yeah, I'd prefer to sell it out of town to somebody that actually deals in that type of.
Collectibles.
Yeah. Since I am the one that carried it out.
I give it back to her, by the way.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Put this next to the gold antlers.
She's got like some vendor she's gonna find who pays well is just gonna come up on so much crap. It's like I got these and these.
All right, as you kind of approach that way, Vin, you notice or you hear the sound of like metal on metal, like hammer pounds, that sort of thing coming from inside. But you do notice that there is like this small little, almost think of it as like a lectern built outside, and there's a guy standing it, and there's standing behind it, and there's like this white kind of dressing around the lectern, and he sees you approaching, and he points to you, and he says, "Welcome to Ferris's Arms and Armor. Is there anything I can help you with?"
Are you Gollum?
What?
No. Why do you ask?
You have a curious accent.
Oh, you see, I was told that I speak too fast, so I'm trying to speak slowly and enunciate all of my words.
I can promise you that this is worse than whatever you had before this, man.
You see, he looks back towards the shop and looks back towards you. Yeah, that's what I said too, but they kept telling me, no, you're speaking way too fast. You gotta slow down. People won't understand you. Jesus, give me a break, right?
Blixel's
I
brother.
I caught every word of that just fine. I completely understood that.
Oh, that's so good to hear, because, man, that is so annoying to talk that way. But, all right, what do you guys need? You guys looking for some arms and armor?
Yes.
I have actually blunted my cabbage harvester, and I really could use it sharpened.
Oh, interesting. All right, yeah, let me take a look. Why don't you go ahead and just sit it right here. I'll do a quick investigation on it, see what we can do for you.
There you go.
All right, and just for record purposes, this has suffered, I believe, 1 level of damage. Is that correct?
That's my understanding.
Yep, doing a double check. That is indeed 1 level of damage. You see, he looks at it and he says, "Oh, yeah, this isn't too bad. We could probably have this whipped up for you in like half an hour or so. This could be all fixed." Let's see. As far as cost, it cost you like 2 gold.
Sure.
Sounds great.
All right, you gonna wait right here? You want me to send this somewhere when we're all done?
Well, we can wait here.
Good deal. If you just want to hand me the 2 gold, I'll take this weapon right on the other side. We'll get it all taken care of for you.
Oh, real quick, sir. Do you have any daggers before you go back and sharpen?
Oh, of course. Got plenty of daggers. How many do you need?
2.
4 gold?
Yeah, and a hand axe if you have it.
Sure. Absolutely. We got a hand axe. Got a bunch of hand axes. So 5 gold for a hand axe?
All right, sure. So, let's say 2 daggers and a hand axe. How about we do 7?
No, because it's 2 and 2 and 5. That equals 9.
I have 8. Literally, that's it.
Give me
I've
a
got-
blind check here, Vin. Oh, well, sometimes I make deals for people that are indigent, like can't afford their bills and stuff. Like if you're really, really poor and you're like, oh, and you're like pulling in your pockets and there's nothing in there. And then sometimes they're like, oh, yeah, we'll hook them up a little bit so I could go and check and see and tell them there's someone really, really poor out here. Do you want me to do that?
I've got you. I've got it right here. No, I hand over a gold piece.
I'm not
Thank you.
poor. I just...
He takes your gold piece, says, oh, okay, yeah, that'll do it. All right, so that's 9. All right, hand axe, 2 daggers. Anything else before I'm heading in?
Hey, can you take a look at this warhammer too? It got hit a couple times there.
You see he looks at you and, oh, yeah, set it right up here up on the top. I can take a look at it real quick for you.
Yep.
You see he starts investigating this, and Oh, yeah, this thing looks like it's being sent better days for sure. What did you do to this thing?
Boy, I tell you, it's my dad's favorite hammer, and I kind of, I don't know, just a little bit of here and there, I hit hard.
No worries, no worries. We'll make sure Dad's properly happy and all that. But yeah, I can fix this all up for you. Let's see. It'd be 3 gold to get this one repaired. This has a bit more damage.
Yeah, it's worth it to me as long as the work's good.
Yeah. The best of town.
All right, I'll hand him over 3
Only
gold.
in town.
So he takes your 3 gold, and so far he's collected 9 and then 3, now 12 from you. And to clarify, Serena, are you handing 2 over for the sharpening of your cabbage harvester as well?
Well, so here's the thing. Do you take these types of coins?
You're showing him some of the unmarked ones?
Yeah.
He looks and he says, "Oh, that's different. I just have to go in and make sure they measure the same, but yeah, shouldn't be a problem. You want to hand a couple over? I'll head them on in, make sure we're all good."
Yep. And how much would you pay for a longsword like this?
How much would we pay for a longsword? You want to sell us a longsword?
Yeah, thinking about it.
Ooh, I would have to see how good quality it is, the balance, how it all does that, but generally probably only a couple gold pieces, to be honest. We're in the business of selling. We don't really buy much.
How about you take this longsword and just sharpen my cabbage harvester, and I'll keep the coins.
Yeah, I think that seems fair. That's reasonable.
All right, it's a deal. Thanks so much.
All right, so he takes the cabbage harvester, the coins that have already been mentioned, and the longsword, and he takes those inside, and he lets you know it'll be about 30 minutes. He kind of drops them off. You hear some chatter from inside, and then he comes back out and says, Yep, they're on it right now. They're all set. Like I said, about 30 minutes or so, they'll be good to go. Is there anything else y'all needed? Whoa! And you see he points towards you, Blixel. Whoa, man, what is that? Is that a weapon, or what is that? You see pointing at the shipwrecker.
Yeah, some call it a weapon, some call it a key. But it's called shipwrecker.
Wow, can I see that? Would you let me hold that for a moment? That looks really weird.
Hold on, Speedy. You gonna run around here or what?
No, I just want to feel the weight on it. I just want to kind of look at it. I've been around weapons my whole life. This is my job, and it looks really weird. That's kind of a strange one.
All right, 1 silver.
1 silver just to hold it? Oh,
This is shipwrecker. You're not gonna see something like this again.
You see, he touches his pouch and then he pulls out some coins and he says, "How about 5 copper? That's all I can do for that. Just hold it. I'll give it right back to you, of course."
For you? Okay. Well, what was your name?
The people inside, they call me Speedy, but the real name is Jack.
Jack. And you definitely work at this place, right? You're not just some dude that set up a stand outside that steals a bunch of stuff, right?
Can we look at the desk? Is he behind a desk or something, or does he have a clear escape route that he could just grab this and run out the back door?
So he's actually outside. So think of this as a lectern outside the front of the building, and he's just standing behind it. You did just see him walk inside the building and have a conversation before he came back out. So unless he's really fooling you well, yeah, it seems like he certainly does work here.
All right, so Blixel, with pomp and circumstance, will be all right, 5 copper. You can touch it and hold it for 1 minute.
All right, and you see he counts out the coppers very carefully and pushes them on the lectern towards you, and then you see his eyes light up with interest as you're holding onto the shipwrecker, and he has his hands stretched out to touch it.
Okay, Blixel will hand it over to him if he can hold on to it. He'll caution him. It's very heavy.
Yeah, you notice he can hold on to it, but he does seem a bit surprised by the weight. It almost sags for a moment, and then he lifts it back up. Oh my goodness! Wow, look at this! This thing. Jeez, wow, man, if you hit somebody with this, it's going to hit like heck. Look at that. Oh, look at that design, the weight, the balance. Oh, and you see he's kind of angling at different spots, and you see he looks back and he says, "You know what? I feel like this thing's got to be something special. Is this magical?"
Maybe.
Well, have you tried that whole tuned thing?
No. I've swung it a few times.
Oh, that won't do it for magic stuff. Don't you know the story? See, what you got to do is you got to spend some time. You got to like hold it, and you got to like hold on to it for the whole time. Like it's like an hour. You just got to kind of look at it, feel it, and try to see if there's any kind of like sometimes it talks to you or like it'll shake and it does different stuff. It's magic, but like it'll connect to you, and it's like it's weird. But this has got to be one of those things. I bet it. Look at this thing.
Okay, your minute's up, Jack. I'll take that back now.
And you see he looks at it longingly as he hands it back to you. Ah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Now I'm curious. Not that I'm planning on selling it, but if I were to, how much do you think you guys would pay for something like this?
Oof. Oh, wow. Oh, geez. Well, I gotta be honest, like, I could probably talk to the guys in the store, but I would be willing to bet you that old Ferris, he would want this thing big time. Like, oh, gee, I don't even know how to put a price on this. It's crazy. Like, probably like more money than we have right at hand. We'd have to give you like a letter of credit or something, but are you serious? Maybe you do want to sell it?
You never know, but for now, no. It has sentimental value. My lady friend gave it to me. So I'm going to hold on to it, but if you ever want to hold it again for another minute, that'll be 5 copper. You can probably find me at the Yellow Goblin if you need me.
Oh, good deal. Well, I'm definitely going to tell them inside. You never know. They might be like really interested. Like that's the kind of thing you hang like over the shop window, right? And people see it and they go, wow. And then they just don't want to come in and then they'll look at it. They'll check it out. Yeah, I'll talk to them. And then Yellow Goblin. Okay, I'll let you know.
Okay. All right. Well, nice meeting you there, buddy. And make sure you take care of my friends. All right. And Blixel winks at him.
And he nods with a smile and looks back. Oh, yeah. That's just going to be like 30 more minutes, guys. Was there anything else you needed?
No, Jack. I think that's everything. You're awesome, and you don't talk too fast.
Oh, I'm so glad. I tell that all the time. People are always, oh, no, we can talk too fast. We can't really understand what he's saying. They're like, slow down. And I'm like, no, it's fine. Like, you just, the time is money and all that. You got to do stuff quickly around here. But yeah, if you guys want to wait right over there, I'll let you know as soon as everything's going to go.
All right. And Blixel makes sure he gets it back before takes it back from him. But yeah, it's a good idea. So Blixel, while we're waiting for the pickup, we'll try to start attuning to Shipwrecker if possible.
So Jack, the speedster talker, had to talk you into.
Well, I thought I had tried it before, but I guess I didn't specifically say I tried to attune to this during a short rest. So.
Yeah, so tuning does indeed require a short rest, which is an hour. He has told you this will probably only take 30 minutes, so this could potentially interrupt your short rest unless you're just willing to wait here the hour regardless. You could certainly do that.
Now, do I have to spend a short rest to attune?
Yes, it can only be done during a short rest, and essentially what you're doing is you like put it on your lap and you hold on to it and you like really focus and concentrate and see if there's any like resonance between you and the item.
Okay. Does that take the place of like getting hit points back or anything like that? Or
it does not. Nope. You can still pick one of the 4 options, and attune's just like an extra thing you can do as part of the short rest.
All right. Well, I don't really have another rest in me, but next time we get a chance, I'll make sure to grope this thing for a while.
All right. Sounds good. All right. Is there anything special anybody wants to do during this 30 minutes while your weapons and things are being repaired?
I'd like to take a walk around the neighborhood and get a sense of the town.
Sure, yeah. Go ahead and throw me a blind check, Serena, and then let me know roughly what are you when you say a sense of the town. Are you trying to get an idea of like how wealthy they are? Are you trying to get an idea of like the culture? Like what is it that you're looking for?
Yeah, I mean, definitely the culture and whatever I can gather just from the streets and architecture and people I pass by.
Okay, so based on your check, what I would say you're able to gather is that much like, having grown up the hamlet, you haven't seen a ton of things in the area. Cariele as a whole is kind of known as like frontier land. It's one of the most northern kingdoms that is of Anwirian heritage. And just to your north, you've got Thosone, and beyond that's all the Reuric lands. So stuff in this area tends to blend both Anwirian architecture along with Reuric architecture. It's kind of like a blend of the two. And I would say you definitely notice that sort of elements where the homes, some of them you can see they have like more like thatched roofs in certain areas of the neighborhood. The nicer homes have more solid like wood roofs. So you get the impression that, this kind of sticks out as very much a in-betweener kind of town between the Anwirian culture and the Reuric culture. As far as like dress, similarly, you notice most people are dressed fairly warmly. Occasionally you'll see people with like bare arms and so forth, and just looking at them, it looks like they're kind of just moving between buildings quickly. So yeah, that's pretty much all you gather in this like short 30-minute walk by.
Sounds good.
Anybody else want to do anything during this 30 minutes?
Yeah, I'm gonna hand to Vard this newly purchased hand axe. Yeah, told you. I pay my debts. Sorry, slip of the tongue.
Mighty fine hand axe you got there. Thank you.
May you bury it in many of skulls.
Let me know when you need to borrow it again.
I say in Dwarvish.
All right. After this 30 minutes or so passes by, you notice a shout from inside of the room, and you see Jack makes his way back there and collects the cabbage harvester as well as the warhammer, and then he brings that out and sees you guys waiting and kind of motions with his hand towards you, sets them on his lectern, and he says, "Oh, look at that. Good as new. You see that right there on the cabbage harvester, that edge? Fine as it was. Day it was crafted. Day it was forged. That's really good work." And then here on the warhammer, you can see a lot of that pitting's gone, right? The balance is back. It's more solid. That thing's going to have a big impact when you swing it.
Adam, do I need to do anything on my character sheet?
Yes, and I'll go ahead and take care of that for you and fix that up.
Me too, please.
Yes, indeed.
Adam, did my 3 gold that it cost me, did that make it magical at all?
It did not.
Okay, well I just have to ask. You know?
I don't know. I mean, clearly this guy, his work is magic. Look at that. Look at the edge on this thing.
I mean, there's no pits on it, and it does look pretty now. So you know.
This could take out 3 cabbages in a swing.
Well, Jack, I guess you could tell by my friend's reactions here, we will be back if we need anything from you all. Thank you.
You see he gives you a smile and a nod. Yeah, look forward to seeing you guys again. You see him eyeing towards Blixel, looking at the shipwrecker as you guys are walking away.
Stop looking at it. You didn't pay enough.
Not looking was free.
The first look is free.
Alright, I think we'll make our way back, yeah?
Alright.
Yeah.
Plans to go back to the horrible nightmare place and see if Var's still alive?
You ready?
No, but we're going.
Let's do it.
Real quick, while we're walking, let's come up with a plan here, because last time what really hurt us was when we got too far apart. So let's make a rule, no more than 10 feet away from anybody else, just in case.
I'll try.
Maybe
What if
15
we fall
or
into
20,
a
okay?
30-foot wide pit?
I was just gonna say, let's see, fireball is how far apart?
So I'll walk in one large clump directly into the gut of this, in a circle with one in the middle, preferably me. Just kidding.
All right, you guys walk your way back to the Yellow Goblet.
You guys want to do a shot before we go down?
Shots. Who's buying?
I'm fine. No.
I mean, if they're 5 copper, I got you guys.
Alright, well maybe we'll save them for victory shots on the way back, yeah?
We might as well just let Jadrian know we're here, so that if we don't show up, someone knows we're missing.
We'll let you touch my hammer for beer.
You notice
Yeah,
Jadrian walking near the back of this establishment, and she sees you guys walk back through, and you see she gives you a smile underneath that big metal helmet of hers, and she walks a bit closer. Ah, it's good to see you back. You're heading back down now.
As long as Var hasn't come back yet.
No, I've been keeping a close look, and I've put the barrel on top of the trapdoor. It's still there. I can't imagine unless he could slip out through like mist or something. But haha, I'm sure that's not the case.
Question for you: would you like us to try to like seal up this tunnel that leads to this other place from underneath you?
You know, I think we better check with Ryan on that one first because, well, you know, he kind of calls the shots around here. So I think it makes more sense. Well, just find a bar, bring him out, and then go talk to Ryan to see what he says.
Fair enough. Do you want to hold a magic item for 5 copper?
You see she kind of cocks her head a little bit. If that's a pickup line, it's one of the worst ones I've heard.
Oh, don't worry. If I was trying to pick you up, you would know it.
And that's the second worst one.
He whistles, winks at her, and then goes away.
Like someone's feeling it this afternoon, man.
Gets lucky once and he thinks it's a lifetime.
Listen, it's the bard.
Yeah, dude, it is
Quintessential bard, yes.
Crack me up, man.
Let's go back in the hole.
Alright, I'll move the barrels off the top of the trapdoor that we set at them and pull that bad boy up.
All right, you do so and make your way back down.
And
Good question. Are we not trying to talk to this Halmead person thing? Are we just walking by? Or...
I mean, I don't think if we have anything to offer, probably should just avoid.
I think
Wait, I could give him some of these unmarked gold pieces.
it's just risky. I mean, he had a dark reputation, so that offering could be a curse. Or who knows? I think it's
That's
better
true.
to just avoid it.
Sure.
I'm not too noisy, I don't think, so I'd be happy to go out in front with Celine or whatever.
Yeah,
Whoa,
I have
whoa,
a
whoa, whoa.
torch instead of light, so I'm gonna be in the back, like I said, with old Bairn. Baby Bairn.
Except for those beams that didn't have any, rolling attack dice thing or anything like that. Normally, I'm pretty good at being up front.
I am not quiet in this armor, so...
Me neither.
Stop closing the doors on us!
You're not wearing armor.
Yes, I am.
Oh, you are?
I am in scale and shield.
Oh. Yeah,
That doesn't
you're,
mean I want to be in front.
you're tanky. Okay, well, why don't we be in, like, behind the front guys there, Celine, since we can both see in the dark still, but in front of the twins.
Makes sense to me.
All right, keep up, twins. We gotta stay all close together. Is this where the tunnel is?
Yeah.
I think it's got one of those little teleportation macros. You just move your token on it and it'll take you to the other place.
Yeah, that is correct. Yeah, if you just move one more to the east, it should auto teleport you.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I remember Adam having us test that out. It is pretty cool.
Baron tested it a bunch for us last time.
Yeah. I made real sure it worked.
Stress tested it.
I don my shield as soon as I come out of the tunnel.
All right, you guys crawl through the tunnel, spending the 5 minutes or so.
All right, and torch is 20/20, right, Adam? In terms of
Yes.
light.
Yes, that is correct. 20 dim, 20 bright.
Okay, so we'll give you guys a little bit of a berth, okay? You call us if you need us. We'll come running.
And I guess as we're starting to move more forward into it, Blixa will use Bloodline to do detect good and evil.
All right, go ahead and burn a usage of that.
I just took it off my little counter here, so does that work?
Yep, yeah, I'll just throw a concentration on you because that's the concentration spell, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Or I could just click it and then put the spell slot back.
If we're not in initiative, what is the equivalent of until the end of your next turn?
Ooh, that sounds like a philosophical question. Can you give me more detail about what you mean? Yeah, so essentially what that would do is give you about 12 seconds of detecting magic.
Okay.
And Adam, I'm trying to go stealthy.
Okay.
Me too.
All right.
Hey, Gordon.
Not used to moving slow, brother. This feels weird.
Do we want to recheck these rooms?
Not really.
Are the bodies still where we left them?
They are, yes.
Okay.
And do I happen to detect any presence?
You do not within 30 feet, no.
Adam, I'm going to peer over the corner, even though I'm going to move my... I'm just going to kind of do a peekaboo.
All right.
Seeing nothing, I'm going to go there. And I believe we said we were going to go the other direction, correct?
We're gonna
Away
go-
from the
you can-
shooty laser things? I think so.
Yeah.
We go to the ghost room.
And I just, I do believe Adam told me that I heard some sort of chanting or something before I went over in that area. So,
I think he said incanting. So
Oh, yeah,
maybe
okay.
some spell casting and
yeah.
All right. As you guys are making your way through this area, Bairn, you hear the sound of the door nearby you click, unlocking it. Do you do anything immediately?
I'm going to look at it and snap my fingers to try to get Vin's attention.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and put us into turn order. Okay, so you guys are making your way. Nothing really out of the ordinary here. Saline, feel free to take like a turn's worth of movement. Again, you've probably heard the snapping fingers, so that might adjust what you do. Your choice.
I will try to get Blixel's attention, I guess, because he's closest to me. So I guess I'll walk up and say, "Something's." Oh, I'm stuck. I'll walk to here and I'll say, "Something's happening with their brother's back. They haven't said anything, but I heard snapping fingers. Maybe we should wait up for them." And then I'll take one step back, and I'm not gonna ready a spell because I think I have to make sounds to do that, right? Like it's pre-casting.
Yes.
So, and we're still trying to be quiet as far as I know. So I'll just take a dodge, but because I'm not really sure what's going on.
Okay.
But they don't. My friends don't seem in distress yet. Like I don't hear the sounds of combat, so I'm not gonna go around the corner, guns blazing.
All right. You then hear the door open, Baron. And stepping through the doorway, you see an old man. You see, as he steps through the doorway, it's almost as though he doesn't immediately notice that you are there. He closes the door behind him, and you see he puts this little key in the lock and locks the door. And then you see he turns and he sees that you are there. "Welcome, my child. Are you here to give an offering?"
Well, I've got to tell you, that's a funny thing, because doesn't look like much of a place to give an offering to. Who are we offering it to? I don't mind.
"Our mistress of the night." And that's probably about all the talking he can do in his turn. Vin.
Yep.
All right. Vin's gonna come down to his brother, and he's gonna pull out this dark purple book that he has, and he says, "Well, I've only just learned about this mistress of the night, if you speak of the same one, but I can offer this prayer book I found of hers."
You see he looks towards the book and then he looks back towards you. "While this book may contain knowledge, Our Lady expects things that are more valuable for offerings."
Do you have a suggestion?
"Coins, gems, the like." Anything else on your turn, Vin?
No. I mean, 6 seconds, so can't say much more.
All right, Blixel.
Okay, Blixel, I guess, will try to stealthily move to the edge so you can look around and see what's going on down the hallway. Okay. And he'll whisper back to Celine, "They're talking to an old man." And I guess he'll move slowly walking down the hallway towards him. Hands up.
All right, so I'm not getting the impression that anybody's intending to do anything particularly dangerous or violent. So Serena, Tavern, Baron, you guys haven't had a turn yet. Is that fair to say, or is there something you're trying to do right away?
I was going to offer him some gold. It's only fair. We're in your place. I don't mind giving an offering. So that would be what I would do.
Okay, fair enough. Serena or Tavern, anything specific you're doing at this point?
I would just be walking back a little bit. I wouldn't make myself totally visible, but I would just kind of move closer towards.
Okay.
Yeah, whenever Serena realizes that people have turned around, she would follow.
All right, fair enough. So since there's nothing urgent, I'm going to go ahead and add this out of combat there. Feel free to move as you wish. So Halmead looks towards you there, Baron, and says, "Coins are definitely accepted by Our Lady. I shall grant these to her if you wish to provide."
I don't see the harm in it because we're in your house. I'll give you 5 gold pieces.
He takes the 5 gold pieces, and you see he makes this kind of weird gesture with his fingers, his index finger and his middle finger. He takes his middle finger and kind of wraps it over his index finger and then holds it up above your head and just kind of lowers it in like a quick gesture. Doesn't touch you, but it gets within maybe a foot or so of you. And he says, "Our Lady of the Night sees you."
Oh, well, tell her I said hi. We're actually... Okay, thank you.
You are welcome. Now, if you don't mind, please step aside so I can procure my duties.
Oh,
And what
of course.
duties may they be? Well, we're actually looking for someone who may be lost down here.
There are none down here who are lost. All who come with purpose.
Can I help you with your duties?
I do not believe you know the rights.
You have to learn them sometime.
You see he moves up this way towards this kind of alcove area, and as he does so, you see he puts his hand up against the far wall, and you can hear him uttering something very barely audible under his breath as he touches the wall. And this takes like 30 seconds or so, and then you see he turns back and sees that you're still standing there, and he says, "I must do the other one as well."
I'm trying to move at him, but Roll20 is blocking me. There we go. I'm gonna move back this way.
You see he repeats the same gesture as before. My, there are so many of you here. We don't usually get this many visitors, this many petitioners in one day.
How many do you normally get?
Our Lady of the Night usually works with 1 or 2 at a time. Far fewer does a full group come down here. There are 6 of you. How interesting.
Have you seen someone named Var? Handsome fellow.
I did not see him, but I spoke with him very briefly. I got the impression he was in a hurry.
Is he one of your petitioners?
No, he was not. He had no offering for Our Lady.
Do you know where he is? Having him running around your sanctum cannot be good.
Or what direction he last headed in?
Our Lady provides both shadows and protection when necessary. I worry not about what tricks or dangers he could be up to in the sanctum. As far as which way he went, the way I heard him would be this direction from my door. Where he went after he came here, I cannot say.
And what is your name, sir?
I am Helmead.
I see.
Are we in danger being down here? Saw some skeleton-like creatures around.
Our Lady works in very mysterious ways. If you have come with a pure heart and devotion for Our Lady, you will be protected as I am. But if there is doubt in your heart, or you don't truly venerate Our Lady, then who knows what she may pit up against you.
And when you say Our Lady, you mean Eloile?
He inclines his head slowly. Yes, that is what some call her.
Well, from my knowledge of her, I can only say that necromantic practices are not her mainstay. Do you care to explain some of the things we've seen here?
Whatever do you mean?
Gorlings, skeletons risen from the dead attacking us.
If you encountered such a thing in Our Lady's sanctum, You must have brought them with you. Sometimes the fear in our hearts birth things in the shadows.
And, how old are you, Halmead?
He kind of cocks his head a bit. What an odd question. Why do you ask?
Well, just a hunch. But, we may have met someone who mentioned your name before. Said, when he knew you, he was only a boy. That man is in his 70s now, I'd wager. So that would put you... I don't know, I'm not great at math. Celine? 150? 170?
You see, he kind of smirks slightly. I'm afraid that you have been tricked. I am not nearly that old. I am simply a man, and as you know, men do not live that long.
So indulge me.
I have seen 72 years on this land.
Can I insight check him?
Sure. Blind check, please.
Sorry. Dang it, just a habit.
You don't get a read one way or the other on him.
Well, if you don't mind, Halmead, we're trying to find this Var character before he commits any kind of atrocities. He seems to have already done so. That may be what he's running from. So, we'll grab him and get him out of your hair.
Do as you wish, as the lady wills.
Aye.
One more thing I got to ask you. Is she this way? And I point out to our right.
Is who that way?
Well, the lady of the night.
You notice a slight smile comes to his lips. She is everywhere and nowhere. She is in and out and around. Where you see nothing, she is there. Where you see bright light, she may not be there, but she hears it.
But you did said you told me she sees me.
Yes, she will see you no matter where you go.
Oh, I look around suspiciously. Okay. Farewell then.
Hey, I got a question for you if you don't mind, sir.
You see he stops and looks back towards you. Yes, mountain brother, what is it?
Thank you. So, like, around the corner to the west over there, right? There's some magic that some creature shooting some magic beams and everything, right? Kind of hit me a little bit. Are they friends of yours by chance?
There is no creatures in that direction, only what you bring with you. If there is fear in your heart, then shadows will birth those things.
Oh, then they're not from me. I'm not afraid of anything. But thank you, sir. Kindness to you.
He nods as he continues on his way.
Hey Adam, has this room changed at all to the north of me?
Nope.
What time of day is it, Adam? Like noonish?
No, it's probably closer to 5 p.m. by the time you guys have gotten back in here.
Would you say it's sunset? Sundown-ish?
Not quite.
What are you thinking, Dilly Dog?
Is he still standing beside us? No.
You can open your eyes. He's gone.
I didn't have my eyes closed. I was reading something. I've got to admit something. I know I don't seem like the religious one, but this lady he talks about, Eloile, she is not a necromancer. She does not partake in those things. I've followed her for a few years now. She's a mistress of thieves, of spies, of swashbucklers. She honors those with scams and the ability to lie.
But then
Not-
why did I give her 5 gold?
You offered.
He said scam.
Clearly, I've been scammed. You should have done it, brother. You're the scammer.
It's not that. It's a scheme, rather, right? Like, how do I put this? Right, why should I be the blade that kills the target when I could have another blade do it for me so my name is never attached? Do you understand?
Yeah, he's out of
Now,
5 gold.
now you're really starting to talk like a politician.
Okay, so with that being said, this man, his patronage of this, if it's necromantic in nature, first of all, I have a divine duty to kill him. But secondly, that's not the way to worship Our Lady. And if he says he has 1 or 2 petitioners a day, what is he doing with them? Is that the skeletons that we have been fighting? Is he just taking citizens of this city and resurrecting them for
So
his
you're-
own gain?
You're
Don't
telling me
think
he's a charlatan. That's what you're saying.
Scam.
I don't, Vin. I don't think so. These skeletons we've been looking at and fighting have looked really old. If these are recent converts, I don't think he would be able to do that.
Well,
He
what
said
about
these,
the hands?
that I'm less sure about, but either way, like,
I'm only telling you what I know, right?
sure.
I mean, if any of you know of Eloele, you know she's rather new. She wasn't here when everything happened at Decimar. She's a later god. She's the daughter of other gods.
Maybe he's down here, and maybe there's like other temples or something down here. We don't know how big this is. Maybe the undead are coming from something else. Who knows?
Yes, but my point is that in all of my looking and searching, I've never once encountered another practitioner, let alone an actual temple. You have to understand this. This is what I'm saying is odd. It should not be this way, is what I'm saying.
We
Well,
gotta
maybe-
kill this guy?
Not necessarily, but I'm just letting you know what I know.
Well, maybe Var
Alright.
knows something that we don't.
Thank you,
Maybe
brother.
we should focus on finding him, and then he can fill us in on the details.
Yes, this is why I did not stab him in the neck while we were talking to him right there. That's exactly the point.
You have been in the village for like your whole entire life, and now all of a sudden it's you're knowledgeable of temples.
It's not temples, it's one person. When Ban went missing, I looked for him for days. And I found something that connected me with her. And she has been with me ever since. I have a prayer book here. It's my only connection to her. And everything that I've learned so far just doesn't match what he is saying and doing. And that's all I'm saying. I'm not no master by any means. But my point is that no one is a master of Eloele. She has not been around enough to master her divinity. You get me?
No, but let's move on.
And Adam, just to double check, that guy didn't ping on the detect good and evil thing, right?
He did not.
He looked human though, right, Adam?
He did, yeah.
And just so my memory is not hazy here, when we spoke to Wilcox, he said that Howmead at the time was an older gentleman, correct?
He did indeed.
Okay, so, I mean, 72 years is a load of horse malarkey.
Yeah, I mean, he's not undead, as far as I can tell. But
But
that
if,
doesn't mean some kind of magic isn't going on.
yeah,
Well,
if
evil.
there's some kind of magic going on that's like concealing his age and giving him like eternal youth or whatever, not youth, because he looked 70, right? But
Eternal.
if he's
old.
prolonged his lifespan, he's probably quite powerful.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he hasn't hurt us. I think we just continue on, try to find Var. There's not much else we can do unless you want to assassinate the guy.
I think Var knows something about this place.
Our quest is to get Var. Yes, I agree.
Okay. Well, who
go
got the
find him.
blessing there? Bairn?
Yeah, I don't know. I doubt it. It seems like a charlatan.
Do you feel
I
any
think you
different?
should. I think you might want to go in front then, Bairn.
Do I? I don't feel any different.
If we were to trust Almeid, he says if we do not walk in fear, we have nothing to worry about. So maybe we just...
Oh, with this group,
Oh,
we're
that sounds
screwed.
so easy. Why didn't we think of that?
Well, I don't know.
We're scared of our own shadow half the time. There's no fucking way we're gonna get through here.
It's like it's like when Scooby Doo's crew goes into like a mansion for the first time, and everybody has courage, and then there's Shaggy and Scooby. We're like all Shaggy and Scoobies.
Not me.
I want to be half Velma.
All right. All right. Well, let's continue on, and the meteor people go in the front again, I guess.
I am not afraid. I am not afraid.
Keep telling yourself that.
There's nothing to be afraid of.
I'd like to listen outside this door, see if I can hear anything.
Blind check, Serena.
And I'll do the same with this door.
All right, blind check, Tabard. Serena, it is very quiet as you put your ear up to the door. Tabard, as you do the same, you hear very slightly on the other side.
Well, guess these are empty, huh?
I'm going to hand an arm signal. I think someone's in here, kind of thing.
Serena draws the cabbage harvester.
All right, as you get to there, Serena, and you're kind of scanning around this area, you're seeing obviously the direction that Tabard has indicated. You also notice to your northwest there is like a mist that seems to cling to the ground at a height of about 2 feet.
Oh, great. Are you going to open the door, Tabard?
Adam, I'm going to kind of, I don't know which side I'd be able to do it at, but I'm going to, whichever side it opens at, I'm going to, wherever the hinges are, I'm going to stand on the opposite side so I'm not standing right in front so the shotgun doesn't come to me.
All right, so based on the way this door is designed, you're pretty sure this door opens inwards, and you would open it essentially from the north, and it would swing west to south.
So would I, yeah, and it looks locked anyway when I try to open it.
So as you attempt to open it, yes, it doesn't budge. Like you feel the handle move. You don't see a locking mechanism, but it doesn't open.
I'm going to knock on the door, Adam.
You hear that probably this happened at about the same time as you tried to open it, but you hear that breathing is like silenced.
So we'll call out a little bit. Var, we're here to get you. Ryland sent us.
Who are you?
My name is Blixel. We are here sent by Rylands to grab you. We met with him earlier today. He said to come get you.
What did Ryans look like?
Blixel will describe. how he looks. I can't remember exactly what it is, but
There's a handout.
Wait, you open his hand out.
you know, he's got white hair. He's got like a little white beard.
Lives in a cool house.
He's a bit of an
Yeah,
asshole.
he looks pretty dope. He's got like a leather jacket.
Popped collar.
All right, so you know what he looks like. Why does he want me back?
We think you know why.
I got no idea. Otherwise, I wouldn't be asking you.
Oh,
I mean, I don't know. He told us to grab you. Yeah, that's above our pay grade. We're just trying to help out.
Is the way back to the ground opening? Is that all cleared out?
It is now. We took some arrows and stuff, and there's some creepy crawlies down here. But yeah, it's clear now. Come on, man. You don't have all day. Come with us, please. We gotta get out of here.
Yeah, I dodged those arrows. I know what you mean. Yeah, go ahead and head on out. I'll be out shortly.
Nah. He sent us to get you. You gotta come with us.
I'll meet you at Ryan's house in like 20 minutes. You just make your way that way, and I get nervous when so many people are around. I can hear all these voices.
Va, you have two choices. You come with us willingly, or we beat you unconscious and drag you back. Your choice right now.
Give me a blind check there, Vin. You sound like a sissy girl. Yeah, good luck trying to get through this solid door.
Blixel raises shipwrecker.
Go on, Blixel. Break it down.
Smash. He will smash into the door with shipwrecker. Let's see if that helps.
So you notice that as you smash into it, it kind of caves in a bit, like you're pushing it in, and you almost hear like this expression of surprise, and he immediately tries to shut the door once again, like force it shut, and you can feel that there is something wedged underneath the door. So when you smash it, it's almost like the top of the door kind of caves in, like maybe a couple of inches, but it's buttressed at the bottom. So yeah, he seems a bit surprised, but you get the impression now that he knows you can do this, he's not going to be caught by surprise again.
Here's Blixel, and he keeps smashing into it.
All right, give me a athletics check. You can make this one public, Blixel. This is representing like your muscling efforts trying to get through.
No,
Sorry.
was that supposed to be
Here's
a
Blixel
shining
just
thing or
clicking my
something?
head.
Yeah, it's a shining thing.
It's just quick.
Yeah, that's a 4.
You are not making any headway now. You feel like he's really pressed himself up against this door. You don't get the impression there's a locking mechanism on this, but it seems like he's wedged something to the base of the door that's going to prevent it from actually opening. And trying to smash through this door, truly, you feel like it's going to take more time than you have energy.
I'll give it a try.
Serena's strong.
Yeah, push it open.
Now, is there like any sort of gap where we can see into the room at all?
No, there's like the floor. There's a tiny, tiny gap between the door and the floor. But other than that, there's no gap.
All right, like sweat dripping off Blixel's face. He'll hand shipwrecker to Serena and be like, all right, you're up, kid. Var, we don't want to do this. You're just making it hard. Come on, man.
Yeah, don't worry. Keep making a lot of noise. You know what happens then.
Yeah, we'll kill them, and then, well, we'll be here for you.
I'm gonna keep swinging and try to splinter the door enough for us to get in.
All right, yeah, and this is a stone door, of course, so go ahead and throw an athletics check as well, Serena.
Did you say stone?
Yeah, stone door.
Can I make any form of a check on it that maybe I find a crack or something like that in it? Well,
The history of the door, I love it. You can throw me a blind check, Tabard.
the history is it did not get much damage by that weak ass roll of a 4 a moment ago.
That one was a warm up.
Yeah, you don't see any obvious structural defects here, Tabard. It just seems to be a stone door.
All right. I'm gonna cast Dissonant Whispers on him.
Post that spell. Can you cast it through the door without seeing him?
Yep. It's a creature of your choice within range that can hear you.
All right, yeah, that may work. Go ahead and post that as though it's casting the spell. And then give me a spell effect roll. Okay, he is affected by this, so he will take the 11 psychic.
Okay, and he has to move away from the door, away from me.
So you hear like almost like this screech on the other side, and with that, I'm going to go ahead and put us into initiative order.
Dude, great.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
What did you say?
Sorry,
What'd you
guys.
whisper to him?
I go,
He spoke parcel tongue.
Arr, you're a little bitch. We're gonna kill you now.
I said open the door.
This is your mom. Open the door.
You're a little bitch, and we're gonna kill you now. That's hilarious.
All right, Blixel, it is your turn. What do you do?
He tries, I guess without Shipwrecker in his hand, he tries to rush forward and push and slam into the door and get it open.
All right, go ahead and throw me an athletics check.
I will. Guidance is a reaction now. Right?
Guidance is
Oh,
a
well, that's not
reaction.
gonna help anyway.
God, my rolls so bad. Okay. So
Hey, Bill, you need to start rolling back. Oh, whoops, sorry.
So this is like you throw yourself against the door and just kind of fall to the other side.
okay. And he's like rubbing his shoulder. And he goes, all right, well, that didn't work. Someone stronger than me knocked this door down. And that's the end of his turn.
All right, before the next turn,
Uh-oh.
Tabard, you hear the sound of incanting coming from your north.
We've got company.
All right, and then through the door, you hear like the sound of him hacking a bit, like he's getting himself readjusted, and then you can hear him push his body up against the door again. And Saline, your turn.
Did I hear the spell casting as well?
You did
Or only
not.
Tabard?
You heard what Tabard said though.
Okay. If Tabard said
We got
something, I'm gonna
company.
go ahead and
As I said, yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and cast Bless on him, Serena, and Vin. We'll find that. So those three are now blessed, and then I'm going to back away 5, 10, 15, 20. I'll go one more, so I form a wall next to Baron here. 25.
Okay, Vin.
I can't really see crap. So I'm gonna give the top three there a little bit of space. I'm just gonna move to here, kind of in between both parties, and I'll drop the torch I have at my feet at him. And then I'm gonna ready a bow attack for anything that seems hostile outside of our party coming within vision.
All right, go ahead and remove the torch on yourself, and I'll drop this right in your space once it's gone.
Okay.
All right, and then Serena, your turn.
Can I try wailing on the door again?
You can. Yep. Go ahead and throw me another athletics check. Yeah, you're just not able to make much progress here. It seems like this door is very sturdy.
Well, oh, never mind.
Anything else on your turn, Serena?
I'm going to hand the shipwrecker back to Blixel and say, I just don't have it today.
All right, so Blixel, as long as you're willing to use your interact with object on your turn, you can just take that back.
Yeah, sure.
All right, so you've handed it over. Tavern, your turn.
All right, I'm gonna come down here. I'm gonna try to interact with the object on the door.
Okay, you attempt to open the door, and it opens.
All right, I'm gonna go through the door and say, "Come on in." And then I'm actually gonna come. I'm going to come over. Adam, what's that above me there?
That is a sarcophagus.
Okay. So I'm going to come over into this corner, and I'm going to take the dodge action.
Okay. I'm just going to put you square in the middle of that square there. All right, Baron, your turn.
All right. I heard something about the mist. I guess I don't see any of that.
Yeah, and I'll yell, "More magic up north!"
I don't like this.
Whatever it was, Adam rolled. I like that one there.
We don't know if that's good or not.
Yeah, right. I don't know, but I'm feeling on the good side. Also, Adam, I don't see the torchlight anymore. Once Baron just moved, it went completely dark for me.
All right, let me give it another shot.
I'm gonna give Jordan. I know he used his movement. I'm gonna grab Celine and say, "Get out the hallway. You come with me." And the intent is I can use my movement to drag her out of the hallway. I'm waiting for her consent, though. I will not force Celine to do anything.
I consent.
Okay, so Adam, I'm gonna pull her just to my south.
So you're using your action to grapple, and then you're pulling her to your south.
That's true. And
Okay.
kind of get against the wall and look at her with eyes of what the hell's coming down this hallway. In my turn.
All right, before the top of the round. Okay, top of the round.
Okay. Blixel says, "Come on, Var. If you don't come with us now, we're all going to die down here." And he's going to swing the shipwrecker again.
So you've got kind of an obstructed angle at this point because you got Serena right in front of the door. But yeah, you can go ahead and give me an athletics check at disadvantage.
Okay. Well, if that's the case, then yeah, if he's not going to be able to get a good run at it after already bouncing off of it, then he'll just do Dissonant Whispers again.
Okay. All right, and another spell effect roll.
I don't want to do this, but we're going to get you real bad, buddy. We're going to get you real bad. Oops, so the first one's a 12, unfortunately.
This time he's not affected. He will take half damage, but he doesn't run away. And you hear him, get out of my head!
Only if you come out with us. And I guess he will move over to here and say, "Serena, if you can't get in there, move out of the way next turn."
Okay.
All right, before Var's turn, Blixel, from where you're standing, you will notice a figure moves into your line of view.
Blixel waves. Hi.
I'm over here.
As you look at it, you see that it is indeed skeletal in nature. It is this sort of bright purple skeleton, and you can see in its chest cavity there's like this swirling purple energy in its chest. As it gets to here, you see it points its finger towards you, and you see this 2 rays of energy fly and smack into you simultaneously.
Does Vin have line of sight on it for his ready to action or no?
I would have said it, but he's not in my little.
Okay.
Yep. I
7
got eyes on it.
force
Think so.
damage to Blixel. And then Blixel, you will notice as that same figure vanishes.
Oh, it just disappears?
It just disappears.
Okay. My detect good and evil is that, would that ping off of that guy too?
Checking distance real quick. Yes, you can tell it definitely is undead.
Okay. But when it disappears, that sort of like goes away, right? Or
Correct.
it's
You
not
can detect
just,
that
like,
it is
visible
not there anymore. Exactly.
Okay.
All right, Saline.
These things are popping in and out, guys.
Well, I will peek around the corner here. Not seeing anything. And then can't really help with the door situation. So I guess
Get in this other room for safety.
I can't get there. Well, yes I can if I dash. We going in, boys?
Half of us already are.
I look
I
to
don't know,
Baron.
how big is the room?
There's room.
And we're trapped in the room too, though. I don't know. Good call,
Obviously, all
Celine.
this is happening within 6 seconds.
I guess Celine and nod.
Okay, then I will dash there, so 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and then the dash action 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. I can't get onto the sarcophagus, yeah?
I mean, you can. You're going to be standing on top of it then, so that could have some negative impacts depending on what happens.
That's okay. I'll just go 30 here and end my turn.
Okay. All right, and we've got Vin next.
Vin's gonna hold his action to dash behind Bairn if Bairn goes and runs into the room. I can do that, right? I can hold an action to dash.
So you can't see into the room, so you can only ready actions based on what you can see. So you can say that if you see Baron steps through the doorway, then you will take your ready action to dash.
Sure, into the room. Is that okay?
Yeah, at the point you dash, you can move anywhere you want, to be honest with you.
Oh, fantastic. Okay.
All right, Serena.
Come on, everybody in here. Yeah, I'm sorry. I should have ended my turn.
All right, no worries, Tabard.
I'm just gonna take the dodge action for right now. Yeah.
Okay. All right, before Baron's turn, once again here, Blixel, you'll notice a creature steps up into the same exact spot you noticed it last time, points its fingers at you, and shoots off these 2 rays of energy, which smack into you for 7 points of damage. And then you notice that it vanishes from view.
Okay. And it's appearing in the mist fog area?
It is yes, it actually is, yep.
Okay.
All right, and then after that turn, we've got Baron.
Alright, I'll step out there. 5, 10, 15, 20 to my brother. Where did everyone go?
Into the room.
Well,
I
which
don't
one?
know why.
The one with the open door.
Okay.
And the only one we can go into, brother.
Well, I see 3 options of, quote, room. Okay, so 5, 10, 15, 20,
And I wish I grew up in your house.
30. All right. This is I got a bad feeling about this.
Yeah, I hate it
so
so much.
I'm going to take a dash action. And so 5, 10, 15 puts me on Blixel.
Close the door.
20.
Close the door.
25.
Break line of sight.
I'm coming. So
Is he
that triggers
so-
my action, right, Adam?
Yeah.
Yes.
Now close the door, brother. What, you grown up in the barn?
I don't have a action, brother.
But
I only...
That's not
but Brian, do you have more movement left?
it's not an action to close a door.
Interact
It's an
with
interact
object.
with object, but it's not his
Yeah.
turn, so you have to do it.
Oh, do I have enough? I could.
If you-
Yeah.
So hang on. No, you're 5 feet short. So based on where you started, I just counted out. It would take you 60 to get to where you are right now. So I'm assuming your base speed's 30, right?
Yeah.
Can he not reach the door from that space?
Not to close it, no.
Okay.
All right, so Baron, you're staying there.
Was this 30? So 60 to there?
No, 60 was one space north. So you went down there and then you came back to the
Yeah.
north. Yep, so that's 60.
I keep hitting. It bugs me. My square isn't in the square.
You must be holding down control or whatever it is, let you do the half squares.
Yeah, it's an alt because that's my mic cue.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So I mean, what do I got here except for action was dash? I'm going to do it because he ain't going down. Bonus action, boom, on Blixel.
Okay, Blixel, you are now sanctuaried.
Okay.
All right, and before the top of the round, 2 more of these shapes. The first one steps in, tries to shoot Blixel, so go ahead and roll a spell effect roll there, Baron. It will able to shoot Blixel, dealing 6 points of force damage, at which point it vanishes. And the next one also tries to shoot Blixel. Spell effect roll there. All right, is unable to do so. And so, because it can't shoot Blixel, it has to pick a different target. It is going to pick Saline. Saline, you are fired and hit for 9 points of force damage.
Okay.
And you notice that one does not vanish. All right, as we're at the top of the round, we're a little bit over session, but let's go ahead and pause it there, guys. So we find ourselves in a little bit of a sticky situation. Pick this up next week, and we will see how you guys fare with this battle. Hope everybody had a good time. We'll see you all next week and continue the adventure then.
Take it easy,
All
everybody.
right. Good game, guys.
See you guys.